Hello students, welcome to Infinity Learn by Sri Chaitanya. I am your tutor at SE, and today we are going to see the paper solution of grand test of 28th April. Okay, then let's start with the question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding the regulation of a Zener diode. So first of all, before moving to this assertion reason or whatever is the options, first of all we need to understand what is Zener diode actually. What is Zener diode actually? So Zener diode is a switch. Basically we use Zener diode as a switch. Okay, how sir? Look, here R is connected, resistance is connected with a variable voltage source. This voltage source is, let's say, variable, and load is connected across it. That load is connected across the Zener diode. Now let's call it also as a variable load. Now look, if we need that if voltage exceed for this load like 5 voltage, if the value of 5 voltage exceed, then it will fuse or it will stop working. That means what? We want a value of voltage that is maximum 5 voltage. Okay, so it keeps the voltage constant across it. How? So for Zener diode, you have studied in Zener breakdown that current in forward bias increases with time, and that is in milliampere. But when it is in reverse bias, it won't increase. And if there is current, something current, that is due to only minority carriers. But all of a sudden this current increases. That means what? That is breakdown, Zener breakdown. And after that, voltage remains constant across it. Okay, so when value will be up to 5 voltage, that will be moving from this direction only. But if you increase the value like 6 voltage, then this will be only 5 voltage and 1 voltage will be over here, and remaining current will be passing from this Zener diode. That's the concept of Zener diode. Okay, now the current through the series resistance RS changes. Yes or no? If we call it RS, that current will change? Yeah, absolutely that will change. Otherwise it will fuse and additional current is passing through the diode. Okay, the Zener diode resistance is constant. Okay, that's C. B is what? The resistance offered by the Zener diode changes. Yeah, that changes because on the same voltage difference, on the same 5 volt voltage difference, value of current is increasing. If amount of current is increasing, that means offered resistance offered is increasing. The Zener decreasing, sorry, current is increasing and R is decreasing. The Zener diode resistance is constant. No, the current through the series resistance RS remains constant. No. So which one is true? A and B. Option number 4. I hope you understood. Then we have next problem. In this problem we have the circuit shown in the figure below is used to realize a logic gate. The gate is, so this is a OR gate. Why? Because if you are going to put 1 and 1, output will be 1. See, forward bias, and 1 0, this is in forward bias, this is in reverse bias. Again 1 and 0, 1 0, this is in forward bias, this is in reverse bias. 1 is the output. When you are going to put 0 0, then output is 0. That means what? This is what? This is reverse bias. Okay, this is what? OR gate. Because OR means either A or B. And what is AND gate? A and B. Then A and B, both the keys must be on. But in OR gate, either A is passing the signal or B is the passing the signal. Signal will be passed. So this is what? OR gate. Then we have The third one, the mean intensity of radiation on the surface of the sun is about 10 raised to 8 watt per meter square. The RMS value of the corresponding magnetic field is closest to. Okay. So what is given? Intensity. So we know formula, intensity is equals B RMS square and C upon mu naught. You know mu naught upon 4 pi equals 10 raised to minus 7. You know about that. So put the value of intensity, that is 10 raised to 8. Put the value of mu naught, put the value of C, and find the value of B RMS. Okay. Simple problem. Answer will be fourth. Then we have next problem. In this problem, an electron is moving through a field. In figure 1, it is moving opposite to an electric field. Okay. And in figure 2, then to a magnetic field as shown below. For each situation respectively, the de Broglie wavelength. De Broglie wavelength is h by p, inversely proportional to momentum or inversely proportional to velocity. In this case, electric field in this direction. So force on a negative charge, electron is negative charge. That means that force is in this direction. If force is in this direction, then the electron is accelerating. Velocity is increasing. If velocity is increasing, that means momentum is increasing. That means wavelength will be decreased. Increase, decreases, increases. Option 3 will be the answer. But why? For the second arrangement that remains constant. Why, sir? Because see, so force in magnetic field on a charge, on a moving charge is Q V cross B. That is what? V cross B. Now velocity and magnetic field, velocity, magnetic field are perpendicular. Okay. So that force will be perpendicular to both velocity vector and magnetic field. So if force vector is perpendicular to velocity vector, then will have a circular motion with same speed. That's why if speed is same, then momentum will be same, then wavelength will be same. So option 3. Then the next problem is, in the following arrangement, y equals 1 mm, d equals 0.24 mm and d equals 1.2 meter. Okay. So y is basically what? Y, if I say twice of y, that will be beta, the width of a fringe. Because what is fringe width? Distance between two dark fringes or two bright fringes. So beta that is actually twice of y, or 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 mm. Okay, 2 mm, y is 1 mm, right? 1 mm. 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter equals what? Then equals lambda d. D distance 1.2 meter, 1.2 meter and d. And d distance 0.24 mm, 0.24 mm, 10 raised to minus 3. Okay. So what we'll get from here? We will get the value of lambda. So value of lambda, remove this point and push this point over here, then remove it and multiply with 10. So 12 2s are 24, 2 2s are 4, 10 raised to minus 3, minus 3, minus 7, minus 1, minus 7. Lambda equals 4 into 10 raised to minus 7 meter, or 10 raised to minus, if we make it 10 raised to minus 10, so 4000 into 10 raised to minus 10 or angstrom, 4000 angstrom. Now energy associated with this wavelength, so energy associated with this wavelength will be by lambda in angstrom. You know the formula, 0 0 0 0 cancelled out, 4 3s are 12, 4 1s are 4, 3.1 electron volt, 3.1 electron volt. Okay. So that is energy associated by this wavelength. Okay. What is work function? Work function for this plate is given as 2.2 electron volts. Okay. Now how much potential I need to apply it. So I need to apply energy, amount of energy that is equal to 3.1 electron volt minus 2.2 electron volt to stop the process. So that is amount equals 0.9 electron volt. So let's equate it with E V naught. So value of V naught. So value of V naught will be 0.9 voltage. Simple. Option 1. Okay. Then we have next problem. In this problem we have given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion and the other is labeled as reason. Absorption lines corresponding to Balmer series do not exist in the hydrogen atom. No, that's not true, because we have Lyman, Balmer, Paschen, Brachet, P-Fund. We have all these series in hydrogen atom. If electron is existing in Balmer in the n equals 2, then when you will give energy, it will get excited, it will go to other or higher excitation states, and when it will come back, then we'll see the Balmer series. Okay, so that is absolutely wrong. Hydrogen atoms are capable of having an electron knocked from only the ground state. No, that is not true. That means both A and R are false. Both A and R are false. Then we have next problem. In this problem, in each fission of uranium 235, 200 mega electron volt of energy is released. If a reactor produces 100 megawatt power, the rate of fission in it will be. Okay. For each fission, for one fission of uranium, for one fission of uranium 235, we are getting 200 mega electron volts. 200 mega electron volts. This much amount of energy we are getting from one fission, and total power of the reactor is how much? So power, first of all, power is 100 megawatts. Megawatts, watt means joule per second. Okay, so that much amount of energy we are getting per second. Then what? So per second. So n number of fissions, n fissions per second, n fissions, FISSION, fissions are giving that amount of energy. So number of fissions per second, I'm writing it per second. So n into this value. So what will be the value? 16 to the, so remove it, remove 1 0, 16 to the 32, and put a point, then 2 zeros 8, so 10 raised to minus 11. I think I'm right. Okay, put that value, put this value equals this value, and find the value of n. Simple. Now do it and find the value of n. Then which of the following groups have different dimensions? Potential difference delta V, EMF that is also have the same dimension as voltage, and voltage same, pressure F upon area, force per unit area, Young's modulus. You know Young's modulus is what? Stress is proportional to strain. Stress is proportional to strain, F by A equals Y Young's modulus delta L by L, and that is dimensionless. Strain is dimensionless. So Young's modulus also have the same dimension as pressure. Energy density means energy per unit volume. Volume could be written as area into length, and energy could be written as F into length upon AL. So that also have same dimension. Okay. Internal energy, work, heat. These all are the forms of energy. Okay. Then electric dipole moment, Q2L. That means Q is charge means current into time into L. So ATL, that's the dimension for this. Similarly, you find dimensions for electric flux and electric potential. Potential V, and what is flux? So you know V is E dot dr first of all, and flux is E dot dA. That means that will differ. Option 4. Simple problem. No need to give that much amount of time in this problem. Then The pitch and the number of divisions on the circular scale for a given screw gauge are 0.5 mm and 100 divisions. First of all, what is a screw gauge? In a screw gauge, we have a main scale and a circular scale. In main scale, what is pitch? Pitch is distance between these 2 points, that is given as 0.5 mm, and number of divisions are given as 100. We know what is least count. Least count is 0.5 divided by 100, that is least count. Now we need to know reading, but we have a error. The zero of its circular scale lies 3 divisions below the mean line. If that lies below the mean line, that means we have positive error. That means what? Like this is main scale, this is circular scale, and that is existing over here, and it is already mapping something. We haven't put anything to measure like this pen, but still it has some reading, and that reading is 3 circular divisions. So what is that reading? 3 into LC. Okay, 3 into LC. Simple. Now what is reading finally? We know reading is main scale reading over here. So what is main scale reading? That is 5.5 plus reading of circular scale. Reading of circular scale 48 into LC, and will decrease that 3 LC in the ending, because that was mapping it without putting any object. So here only can I write plus 48 minus 3 LC. Now do it. Do your own simple problem. So what is the answer? Answer is option number 2. Then we have question number 145. So B1, B2, B3 are 3 balloons ascending with velocities v, 2v, 3v respectively if a bomb is dropped from each simultaneously. So let's say this is A, this is B, and this is C on same height, moving with v velocity, moving with 2v velocity, moving with 3v velocity. Okay, you are dropping a stone or a bomb over here. So it has initial velocity v, it has initial velocity 2v, it has initial velocity 3v. That means what? It will go higher, it will go more higher when it will fall or again, and it will go up to here and it will fall back. So which will reach the ground first? A. The object which is thrown from balloon A, or the object is dropped from the balloon 1. Simple. Then we have a stone is thrown at 25 meter per second at 53 degree above the horizontal. Okay, 53 angle and velocity 25 meter per second. That means the horizontal component cos 53, that means cos 53 3 by 5, so 15 meter per second. Sin 53, so 20 meter per second. Okay, then after what time since projection it will, okay, is its velocity at 45 degree below the horizontal line? Simple. When it is moving here, somewhere here velocity will be at the angle of 45. If velocity is making 45 angle, so that angle is 45 from both the ends, from vertical and from horizontal. Now we know that Vx is constant. Why? Because in x direction we don't have any amount of force, we have force, that is gravitational pull downwards. Okay, so this velocity will be always 15 meter per second. Okay, for 45 angle it also should be for 15 meter per second. Okay, then we need that time. So let's say you are throwing this object with 20 meter per second upwards direction. After 1 second velocity will be 10. Why? Because acceleration is how much? 10 meter per second square. That means 10 meter per second per second. Velocity is decreasing by 10 meter per second in each second. So after 2 seconds velocity will be 0, and after 3 seconds velocity will be 10. After 4 seconds velocity will be 20, but we need 15 at 3.5 seconds. you either you apply the formulas or you save your time. It's your choice. So answer would be 3.5 seconds. Then the next problem is the contact force between block B and block C. Simple. Now let's say that contact force is F, and due to that force this block is going to move with a acceleration. So that force will be ma 5 into a. Now find the value of a and find the value of that force. So acceleration will be what? The net external force 100 Newton. Net external force 100 Newton. Total amount of mass 10 plus 10 plus 5 25. So acceleration 25 4 meter per second square. Put that value over here. 5 4 are 20. Force is 20 Newton. Okay. Then we have next problem. In this problem we have a car is moving on an overbridge of radius r with a constant speed v. As the car descends on the overbridge from points B to C, the normal reaction due to bridge. Now see over here normal equals mg, but when it is over here mg is downwards. That is what? Gravitational pull. That will be working downwards. Okay. Normal is in this direction. So that normal was initially mg, but now that is mg cos theta. If this angle is theta, this is 90 minus theta, this angle is also theta. Mg cos theta. That means now if that becomes parallel, then normal will be 0. If theta becomes 90 degree. So decreases. Option number 2. Okay. Then we have next problem. The velocity time graph of a particle moving in a straight line is shown in the figure. Mass of the particle is 2 kilograms. Work done by all the forces acting on the particle in the time interval between t equals 0 to t equals 10 seconds. First of all, one approach is you find the acceleration delta v by delta t, find the force ma, then find the work F dot ds, and this object is moving in a straight line. That means it is going in this direction and then coming back. See, after this point it is coming back, and net work done will be this amount of work. This will be net work. But we know one more thing, that work done of all the forces will be delta ke. Change in potential energy, half m mass is 2 kilograms, v final is 20 meter per second, 10 meter per second. So 20 square minus 10 square, 400 minus 100, 300. So 300 answer. Got it? Then we have the next problem. In this problem we have which one of the following pairs of statements is correct. The center of gravity Cg of a body is the point at which the weight of the body acts. Yeah, and what is weight, by the way? Weight is gravitational pull. So weight is not mass, weight is, so in center of mass we are talking about mass. That mass for let's say this is a uniform body. For this body, center of mass will be at geometric center. Right, but what is center of gravity? Actually the point where that mg force is working. Mg weight is what? That is gravitational pull. So that is true. Yeah. Option B, the center of mass coincides with the center of gravity if earth is assumed to have an infinite large radius. Infinite large radius means very large. So like this floor flat. So if I am talking about this mass, then mg acceleration due to gravity is almost same, not almost same, exactly same at this level. Okay, so that means center of mass coincides with center of gravity when the radius is very large. So yeah, so we need to choose the pair. So A and B is there in the option. That means A and B is going to be the answer, right? Then a 6.5 meter ladder rests against a vertical wall reaching a height of 6 meter. Okay, so this height is 6 meter a ladder is resting and it has dimension of 6.5 meter. Okay, what will be this length? So basically that will be the square of 6.5 minus square of 6. Okay, so 6.5 square, 5 5s are 25, 6 6 are 36 plus 6 42 minus 36. Okay, then we have 6.25. Root 6.25 means what? 2.5. Okay, that distance is 2.5. The torque of the force exerted by the man on the ladder about the upper end, about this point, that force is working over here, and that means the perpendicular is perpendicular distance is 2.5 by 2 only. R cross F, so 2.5 by 2, and then F is mg, mass 60 into 10. So remove the point, then 230, yes, so 25 3s are 75, 750 Newton meter. B, got it? Then we have, if the earth suddenly contracts contracts to 1/3 of its present radius, what happens? Let's see. If radius becomes 1/3, let's say initial radius was 3r, now radius became r only, keeping the mass constant, but mass is still constant, the length of the day would be shortened. Then what we can do? Basically we can apply one thing, that it is moving and we know its moment of inertia, it is rotating around the axis, its own axis. So I1 omega 1 equals I2 omega 2, I1 omega 1 equals I2 omega 2, 2 by 5 m, and in this direction also we will have 2 by 5 m. So okay, let's write that also, 2 by 5 m r square. So initial 3 3s are 9 r square. Okay, in the ending r square. Omega 1, so omega 1 is what? Omega 1 is 2 pi by t1. Okay, and t1 is 24 hours. Omega 1 is 2 pi by 24 hours. Let's write there, 2 pi by 24 hours. So let's write over here I1 omega 1, 2 pi by t time period. Now 2 pi cancelled out, r square cancelled out, 2 by 5 m cancelled out. We are remaining with 9 by 24, right? 2 by 5, 1 by t. Okay, that means t is 24 by 9. So 3 3s are 9, 3 8s are 24. We got the value of new time period t2, that is 8 by 3, and initially time period is 24 hours. We need delta t, by the way. Look at the question, length of the day would be shortened by means 24 minus 8 by 3, and if you solve it, that will give us 64 by 3, option number 4. Okay, now let's see the next problem. In next problem we have two bodies each of mass m are kept fixed with a separation of 2L. A particle of mass m is projected from the midpoint. Okay, two bodies each having mass m mass, separation is 2L, L separation, and we projected one small mass. Okay, a particle of mass m is projected from the midpoint of the line joining their centers perpendicular to the line. The gravitational constant is v. The correct statements: the minimum initial velocity of the mass m to escape the gravitational field of the bodies. So what we need, if you want that it leave that field, that means in the ending potential energy 0 and kinetic energy 0, apply energy conservation. So half mv square, sorry, half mv square, then plus g m1 m2 by r minus, so minus twice of g m by l equals 0. So then what we need, the minimum initial velocity. So that velocity would be, so m cancelled out, and v square equals 2 to the 4 g m by l, right? So that would be root 4. Root 4 means 2, not 4. We'll get 2 value. So the minimum initial velocity of the mass m to escape the gravitational field of the two bodies is 2 root gm by l. Then the gravitational potential energy of the mass m decreases. No, we cannot say. Why we cannot say? Because initially that value was in negative, now it is being positive. Okay, 0 means more than that. The total energy of the mass m remains constant. The total energy of mass m remains constant. Yeah, that's what we applied to find the value of v final, that is root 4 gm by l. So option B and D are correct. B, C, B, D. 2. Option 2. Okay. Now let's see the next problem. In this problem we have an artificial satellite of mass m is revolving around the earth of mass m in a circular orbit of radius r. The angular momentum L of the satellite, okay, so we have capital M mass of earth and mass of satellite small m, it is moving with orbital velocity. We know that amount of orbital velocity, that is root gm by r. Okay, now problem is very easy. What we need, L vector, angular momentum mvr, mv root gm by r into r. So finally it will be proportional to root r or r power 1 by 2, option C. Option C. Then we have next problem, two wires of the same material and same length but with diameters in the ratio 1:2 are stretched by the same force. The potential energy per unit volume of the two wires will be. First of all, energy per unit volume is proportional to stress and strain, multiplication of stress and strain, and stress could be written as y into strain and strain could be written as stress by strain. So that is proportional to stress square as well, right? And initially, now we are applying same amount of force, but this is ratio of diameter, that means ratio of radius r1 to r2 is in the ratio of 1:2. Then areas are in the ratio of 1:4. Okay, and ratios of squares of stress, so you are applying same amount of force F by A. Initial area is 1, okay, and we need square of that. Divide by F by 4A. If I am writing it as 1A, that is 4A. Square. F square cancelled out, A square cancelled out, it goes in numerator, so 16:1. Which option? Option number 4. Simple problem. Then we have an air bubble is at a depth h below the free surface of water. If the pressure inside the bubble is 3 times the atmospheric pressure. Look at here. So it is in depth. Okay, here we have that bubble. What is pressure here at this level? That pressure is P naught plus rho GH. Yeah, and excess pressure, that means this P2 minus P1, that excess pressure is given as how much? Okay, we can find out that excess pressure. So if the pressure inside the bubble is 3 times of atmospheric pressure, so inside pressure is 3 P naught. 3 P naught minus P naught plus rho gh means minus rho gh. That is excess pressure equals, now only one surface is exposed and another one is touching in the touch with fluid. So we'll have 2T by R or 2S by R. Okay, we are denoting that with T. Then 3 P naught minus P naught, 2 P naught minus rho gh equals 2T by R. What do we need? The radius. So R would be 2T upon 2 P naught minus rho gh, 2 P naught minus rho gh. 2T upon 2 P naught minus rho gh, option 4. I hope you understood. Yes. Then we have next problem. In this problem we have heat is supplied to a constant rate to two solids of the same mass if their mass, okay, if their temperature are plotted with time. Okay, first of all we need to know what is latent heat. Q equals ml. This is what? Energy given for fission. L is Q by m. Similarly, Q equals ms delta T. This is also energy required. S could be written as Q by m delta T. That means what? Energy required to change the temperature by 1 degree centigrade for unit mass. That is what S. Okay. So now see, if I'm talking about B, if you look at the curve, we need that energy more in B. If you need that energy more in B, that means SB will be greater than SA. And similarly, L is what? To change the, to change the state of 1 gram mass or 1 kilogram unit mass, to change the state of 1 gram mass, like from solid to liquid, liquid to solid, we required energy. So that same goes with for L as well. SB greater than SA, LB greater than LA. Okay, guys, okay. Then in next problem, so let's draw it. Yeah, now the graph given below shows the cooling curves of two liquids 1 and 2 of equal mass cooled under identical conditions. Okay, which of the following correctly compares their specific heats? So basically again S will be what? So basically S equals Q equals ms delta T, means S equals Q by m delta T. Similarly, what is S? So S is amount of heat required to change the temperature of that m mass, okay, or 1 gram mass by 1 degree centigrade, that is Q. Okay, so if you are talking about one curve, see, after T time its temperature is getting reduced lesser than 2. See, its temperature difference is lesser than the temperature difference for 2. That means that heat is more required. That means, so S1 is greater than S2? Yes or no? See, for this heat is more required, that's why its temperature is getting reduced slowly. That means S1 is greater than S2. Simple. Let's see the next problem. In next problem we have the PV diagram of a diatomic ideal gas system under a cyclic process is shown in figure. The work done during the adiabatic process. So see, volume is reducing, that means work will be negative. Okay, minus 500 or 400. And we know the formula P2V2 minus P1V1 upon 1 minus gamma. P2V2. What is final pressure and volume? 200 Pascal into 3 meter cube. So 200 into 3 minus P1 V1, 100 into 4, 100 into 4 upon 1 minus gamma. So 1 minus gamma, that is 1 minus 1.4, 0.4, okay, and minus 0.4. So 2 3 is 6, 4, 200, 200 by 0.4, remove this point, increase 0, 5, 4 5s are 20, 500 joules, minus 500. Simple problem. Yes guys. Then we have next problem. In this problem we have an insulator container contains 4 moles of an ideal diatomic gas at temperature T when an amount of, so basically in diatomic gas we have two atoms together, okay, and we have 4 moles, number of moles are 4, then of an ideal diatomic gas temperature T when an amount of heat Q is supplied to the gas, 2 moles of the gas dissociate into atoms at the same temperature. So when you are giving this heat, what is happening? 2 moles are dissociating, so 2 moles, that means 4 atoms plus, and still we have 2 moles of that diatomic gas, okay, so we have 2 moles of that diatomic gas and 4 atoms. I hope you understood. Okay, then into atoms at the same temperature. So basically we have 4 moles of atoms and 2 moles of diatomic gas in the mixture at the final state. Find the value of Q. So value of Q, you know Maxwell's curve. So that is what? N by 2 FRT. So initially how many number of moles? Initial number of moles 4 by 2 F. Okay, degree of freedom diatomic, right? So 5 N by 2 5 RT. So 2 to the 10 RT. Okay, then final energy U final. So then we have 2 moles of that diatomic gas. So 4 moles of diatomic gas 10 RT, 2 moles of diatomic gas 5 RT. Okay, plus we have 4 moles of that. So 4 into N by 2. Okay. So we have N by 2 and for that degree of freedom, now for one atom degree of freedom is 3. We have only translational degree of freedom, so 3 RT. Then it would be what? 2 to the 3 to the 6 RT, 5 RT, 11 RT. So this is U final. Okay, then Q is supplied. So Q will be 11 RT minus 10 RT. Okay, so that would be RT 2, option 2. Then the molecules of a given mass of gas have RMS velocity of 200 meter per second at 127 degree centigrade. 127 means 400 Kelvin, right? And pressure this, when the temperature and pressure of the gas are 227 means 500 Kelvin, respectively the RMS velocity of its molecules. So that is dependent on, that is proportional to root T. Why? Because Vrms is root 3 RT by M. Okay, now you can do it. This is a easy problem, right? So what will be the answer for this problem? Option A. So guys, in this problem we have a wire resonates with a tuning fork of frequency 500 Hz at 30 degrees centigrade under the same load when the wire is heated to 80 degrees centigrade. So basically let's say we had a wire like this and Now you are heating that wire, okay, from 30 degrees centigrade to 80 degrees centigrade. It provides 3 beats in 20 seconds. So then we got one thing, that beat frequency is how much? Beat frequency is 3 beats in 20 seconds, okay. So we got the value of beat frequency, and we know one formula for beat, okay, frequency. So frequency is what? Frequency is V by 2L. Yes, and V is root T by mu. So I can say that 1 by 2L root T by mu. And mu is what? Mu is mass per unit length. That is mu, right? So when you will write that over here, then frequency will be proportional to 1 by root L. Yes or no? Okay. So can I say that delta F by F will be half of delta L by L. Delta L by L, and delta L by L is what? Delta L is L delta T. Okay, that means alpha delta T, sorry. So this could be written as half of alpha delta T. Now that is change of frequency, and initial frequency is given 500 Hertz. Okay, so could you find the value of a del F? So del F would be what? Half of alpha. Alpha is given or not? Find the linear coefficient of expansion alpha. Okay, so we need that alpha only, and F value 500 volts, and delta T is 80 minus 30, that is 50. Okay, then it provides, so that delta F equals what? That is equal to 3 by 20. Okay, delta F, put that value to close, that is what? Beat frequency, right? Change of beats. Okay, so that is not 2 by 20, that is under the same load when the wire is heated to it, 3 beats in 20 seconds. So that's my mistake. Write 3 by 20, put that value here and find the value of alpha. F equals 500 Hertz. Okay, then we have answer would be this, and then we have next problem. In the next problem we have a cylindrical tube L equals 120 centimeter is resonant with the tuning fork of frequency 330 Hertz. Okay, if it is filled with water, then to get the resonance, the minimum length of the water column will have to be, okay, first of all, so this is what? This is a organ pipe. So this end will be what? Open organ, and this is closed end. And now if you are filling water, let's say you are filling water up to some extent, like up to here, so that means we know on closed end this will be the configuration, or you can fill that water up to here. Yes, or there could be more and water is up to here. Now what do we need over here? With the tuning fork of frequency 330 Hertz, if it is filled with water, then to get the resonance, the minimum length of the water column. So what should be the minimum length of this water column? Okay, that's what we need to find in this problem. First of all, we know that velocity for wave, that is f lambda. Okay, so lambda will be what? Lambda is velocity of wave, that is 330 meter per second. 330 meter per second upon frequency is 330 Hertz. 330 Hertz, that gives what? That gives 1. So this is what? Lambda. So lambda value comes out as 1 meter. and total length is how much? This total length is 1.2 meter. Okay, and can you tell me what is this distance? Lambda by 4, and lambda by 4 means 0.25. So if this is 0.25, so it can be a configuration, and if we make this configuration 0.25 plus 0.25 plus 0.25, total 0.75. But if you are trying to make this configuration, then 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5, so that would exceed the value of 1.2 meter, and that value would be 1.25. so this configuration is not possible. Got the idea? So we have only these two configurations. Okay, so if we have this configuration, then this length is how much? This length is 0.75 meter, and total length of organ pipe is 1.2 meter. So height of water column in this case would be what? So height of water column in that case will be 1.2 minus 0.75 equals 5 2, right? So what would be the answer? 1.20 minus, so then 4, 0.45, yeah, 0.45, that means 45 centimeters. That could be the minimum length. If we'll calculate for this configuration, length will be higher. So what will be the answer? 45 centimeters. I hope you understood. Answer would be what? 45 centimeters. Then we have a light uniform ideal spring is fixed at one end if a mass is attached to the other end. Okay, the system oscillates with angular frequency omega. Okay, it is oscillating with omega. And what is omega? I know you have memorized one formula for time period, 2 pi root m by k. Basically that is 2 pi by omega only, right? So we know that omega is root k by m. So let's say its constant is k, so that omega value is root k by m. Then now the spring is fixed at both ends. Okay, both ends shown in the figure, and it's cut in the half. So you cut in half and then you attach a mass in middle. Then when you are cutting this spring into two parts, then what will be the new spring constant? 2k and 2k. Yes, and this combination is in series combination. How? Sir, this is looking like a parallel combination. So what is the meaning of parallel combination? Okay, that is what? My bad. This is a parallel combination, but you could argue with me that, sir, no, this is looking like a series combination. But in parallel combination, expansion is equal. Expansion of this spring and this spring will be equal. And what about series combination? Then kx will be equal, force will be equal. So similarly, if I apply here, if expansion of this is x, then same amount of expansion or depression will be here. Okay, so that is what? A parallel combination. And in parallel combination, k equivalent is 2k plus 2k, that is 4k. Now apply that in formula. So omega dash will be root over 4k by m, that is 2 root k by m, and root k by m is omega. So final answer is 2 omega, option 4. I hope you understood. Okay, then let's see the next problem. A fish is in aquarium, approaches the left wall at a rate of 3 meter per second. It is moving towards left wall with 3 meter per second. Okay, and observes a fly approaching it at 8 meter per second. Now according to this, it is moving with 8 meter per second. So let's say that fly is not outside, that is inside, and that is approaching with 8 meter per second. So what is the speed of image? Because this fish can see the image, not that, right? Because medium has changed. Now the fish is just seeing the image. So image is moving with, so that 8 meter per second is what? That is relative velocity. So actual velocity of image. So I am calling it velocity of image is 8 minus 3, 5 meter per second. Okay. And that 5 meter per second is what? That is, let's say velocity of fly is Vf. So if you multiply Vf with mu, then you will get the value that is 5, right? Simple problem. Okay, so mu is given as 4 by 3. Vf 4 by 3 into, okay, equals 5. So then Vf will be 3 by 4 of 5. So 5 3 is a 15 by 4. So 4 1 is 4, 4 2 is a 8, 4 3 is a 12. 4 3 is a 12.3. 4 7 is a 2 0, 4 5 is a. So 3.75. So what will be the answer? 3.75 meter per second. Okay. Then we have, in this problem we have the focal length of the objective of a terrestrial telescope is 80 centimeter. Focal length of objective is given 80 centimeter. Okay. Then erective lens, f erective lens, then eyepiece, then we have eyepiece. Okay. Now let's write another values, and it is adjusted for parallel rays. Then its magnifying power is 20. Magnifying power is 20. 20 means focus of objective upon focus of eyepiece. So that means focus of eyepiece would be what? Focus of objective 80 by 20. So that is 4 centimeter. Now we got the value of focus for eyepiece, that is 4 centimeter. Then focus length for what? For erecting lens is 20 centimeter. That is already given, 20 centimeter. Okay. Total length. So what is total length? You know direct formula, that is FO plus 4 times of F erective lens plus focus of eyepiece. So 80 plus 2 4 is 80, 80, 80, 160. 160 plus 4, 164 centimeters. Option D. Guys, okay. Then we have next problem. In this problem we have a thin convex lens of focal length f is put on a plane mirror. So look at here, guys. If rays are going like this, then they will turn in this direction, right? But due to that mirror, they will return like this. So basically combination is behaving like a concave mirror. Yes or no? The combination is behaving like a mirror, that is concave mirror. Now if I can find the focal length for this, then I can solve the problem easily. Focal length f is put on a plane mirror as shown in the figure when an object is kept at a distance a. When you kept this object at a distance, then lens mirror combination, its image is formed at a by 3 distance. So let's say image forms at a by 3 distance. So let's do it. First of all, so 1 by f equivalent focal length. Let's say let's write what will be the equivalent focal length. So that is 1 by FL, then 1 by FM mirror, and again 1 by FL. Why? Because ray is passing through lens first, then mirror, then again lens. And FM, focal length of a plane mirror is what? Infinite. Yes or no? Because that is a plane surface, so that focal length will be infinite. So that value is 0. So equivalent focus length is FL by 2. So that will be the focal length for that. So focal length is given or not? That is given F only. So let's write it F by 2. Now look at the configuration. So let me again rewrite it over here, that here we had this mirror, and at a distance we have an object, and image is at a by 3. Okay, now mirror formula 1 by f. So focal length will be also in negative direction, right? Because let's say we are taking it positive direction, it is negative direction. Sign convention, basic sign convention. 1 by f equals 1 by v plus 1 by u. So 1 by v, that is a by 3. A by 3 minus, close, plus 1 by u, so it has already minus 1 by a. So this 3 will go to numerator. 3 by a plus 1 by a, 4 by a, minus 1 by f equals 4 by a minus. Now, so what we needed, so value of a is 4f. Value of a is 4f. Option number 4. I hope you understood. Okay, so did we made any mistake? Okay. Basically, here we had f by 2. What did we have here? That was f by 2, because equivalent focus was f by 2. So then you write it as f by 2. Then a will be twice of f. A will be what? Twice of f. So not fourth, answer would be A. Okay. See, problem is easy. Like we have a combination of lens and mirror. Now it is going to behave like a concave mirror itself. Yes. And then what we need? We need just equivalent focus length, and then problem is easy. Okay. Now we are moving to the next problem. In the YDSC setup, the distance between slits varies as d equals d naught plus a sin omega t. Okay. In YDSC, let's say this is slits, and here we have the screen. So let's call it d distance, and this slit distance is changing as d naught plus a sin omega t. A sin omega t. D naught plus a sin omega t. Okay, then between the maximum and minimum fringe width, so beta max, what will be the maximum fringe width? Minus beta minimum. So first of all, what is formula for beta? Formula for beta is lambda d by d. Yes, lambda d by d. Now put that value here. Lambda d by d. For maximum, d should be minimum, and minimum value of a sin omega t is minus a. So that will be d naught minus a. It minus for minimum d naught plus a, lambda d upon d naught plus a. Now what we needed actually, so what is the difference? Yeah, that's what we need. So lambda d common, and in bracket d naught plus a minus d naught minus plus a upon d naught square minus a square. So d naught minus d naught cancelled out. A plus a, 2a, 2 lambda da, 2 lambda ad, 2 lambda ad, 2 lambda a d, no, this, so either 3 or 4, then d naught square plus a square, not minus square. So 2 lambda ad upon d naught, 2 lambda ad upon d naught square minus a square. Okay, option number 2. Did you understand? Okay guys. Now let us see the next question. In this problem we have, in case of linearly polarized light, the magnitude of the electric field vector is parallel to the direction of propagation, does not change with time, increase and decrease linearly with time, varies periodically with time. Yeah, varies periodically. Why we are using periodically word? Because that is changing as sine omega t minus kx, right? So that is changing periodically, it has a period, a fixed period. So option number 4. So what we wanted actually in case of linear, the magnitude of, yeah, option 4. Okay. Then we have a spherical conducting shell of inner radius r1 and outer radius r2 has a charge q. A charge q is placed at the center of the shell. What is the surface charge density on the inner and outer surface? So basically we have a shell and inner radius of shell is r1, outer radius is r2. Okay, then you put q over here and how much charge? Q charge has a charge q. So basically if initially this charge is not there, small q, and we had q charge, either it is positive or negative, then it will be distributed over this surface. Yeah, why? Due to repulsion. Due to repulsion, for a conductor, charge will be distributed on the surface, and if that is not a conductor, then it will be distributed inside as well. Okay, so charge distribution will be equal on the surface. Then now due to this q, minus q charge will be attracted on this surface, and to maintain the neutrality, positive q charge goes there. Okay, now what do we want? We want the charge density, means q upon area. So q by 4 pi r square for inner, and that is minus q charge. So minus q by 4 pi r square, option A. And on outer plus q by 4 pi r2 square, option number 1. Simple problem. Then we have a proton is projected with speed v towards a free proton. That proton is not fixed. If proton is fixed, then answer will be different, but that is free. So what will happen when you projected it? After some time, due to repulsion, they will start moving together due to that repulsion. Otherwise, what will happen if that is fixed? It will go further and come back, but now they are going together, and that will be the minimum separation. Yes, if m is the mass and E is charge of each proton, then the closest distance of approach between them. So initially, let's say it was at very distance, then initial energy is half m v square. So half m v square, and finally when it went here to here, now they have some potential energy, k q1 q2 by r square, not sorry r. So that potential energy k 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 e square, charge on proton e by r. We need this minimum separation value. Okay, plus half mv square. Now they are moving with same velocity. Let's say that velocity is v, capital V. Initial velocity was a small v. So can I say that momentum will be conserved? So mv should be equal to 2m capital V. That means capital V is v by 2. Simple. Okay, half. Now both the masses are going with same velocity. So 2 mass 2m moving with velocity, that is v by 2 square. So that comes mv square by 4. This is half mv square. Half mv square minus mv square by 4. That means mv square by 4. Yes, 1 by 2 minus 1 by 4 is 1 by 4 equals e square upon 4 pi epsilon naught and r. So 4 and 4 cancelled out. So do cross multiplication, r will go in numerator and final answer would be e square by pi epsilon naught mv square. E square by pi epsilon naught mv square. Option number 3. Okay. Then we have the next problem. The work done in charging a capacitor from 5 voltage to 10 voltage is W. The work done in charging the capacitor from 10 voltage to 15 voltage. Okay. 5 to 10. Okay. 5 to 10 voltage. So change of internal energy work. So you know that internal energy is half CV square. So first change, let's say W1. W1 is proportional to half CV square, means V2 square minus V1 square. Okay, so 10 square minus 5 square. W1 is in the ratio of 75. At the same time W2 will be in the ratio of, now voltage is changing from 10 to 15. Square of 15 is 225. Okay, minus square of 10, 100. So W2 will be in the ratio of 125. What do we want? The work done in charging from this. Okay, so this is given as W only. So W2 would be what? W2 by W equals 125 by 75. So 25 3s are 25 5s are. So 5 by 3 W. W2 is 5 by 3 W. 5 by 3 W means option number 2. Okay. Then we have next problem, and in next problem the charge flowing through a resistance R varies with time q equals AT minus BT square, where A and B are positive constants. The total heat produced in R till the instantaneous current is 0. Okay, so what should we do here? So basically in this problem, the charge flowing through a resistor R varies with time t. So current, can I write current as dq by dt? So that would be what? A minus 2 bt. A minus 2 bt. And the time when it gets 0. So the time when current gets 0, that t time is A by 2b. We got first thing. Then the total heat. Total heat will be what? I square. So I current is basically this, A minus 2 bt. A minus 2 bt square. I square R. R is R resistance dt, and I square R dt from time t equals 0 to A by 2b time. Okay, that will be the total heat released. Now you can do it. So R outside, and in integration of that would be A minus 2 bt by, okay, power 3 by 3 and divide by minus 2b, right? Minus 2b, and from 0 to A by 2b. Now we have minus, so change this minus and interchange the limit. Okay, so that means R by 2b, in bracket we have A minus 2bt, that means A minus 2b0. So A minus 0. Okay, minus, then you put A by 2b, and we have cube as well, and 3 is outside, minus A minus 2b, and t is A by 2b. A by 2b. 2b cancelled out, a cancelled out. So its cube also will be 0. So r a cube upon 6b. R a cube upon 6b. A cube r upon 6b. That's the answer for this problem. Okay. So then we have next problem. In next problem, all the bulbs shown in the figure are identical and are rated to fuse with if the voltage across the bulb is 200. If voltage across any bulb exceed this value, then that bulb will fuse. Now if I put key over here, then which bulb will fuse first? So I would say no bulb. Why? Because it is completely short circuited. See, so zero current will be there inside these bulbs. Okay, so option D. Then we have next problem. A conducting wire PQ carries a current 10 ampere as shown in the figure. It is placed in a uniform magnetic field of magnitude 5 Tesla, which is acting normally outside from the paper. So this is the direction of magnetic field. Okay. The net force experienced by it. So on this L cross B in this direction, L cross B in this direction, L cross B in this direction. So 2 are in I cap and one component is in minus j cap. So I am calculating I cap components. I current is where? 10 ampere. So ILB 10 current L 4 centimeter plus 4 centimeter 8 centimeter, 8 into 10 raised to minus 2. ILB magnetic field value 5 Tesla into 5, that is in I cap, minus IL cross B same. So now length would be 6 centimeter, 10 into 6 into 10 raised to minus 2. Okay, and into 5 is what? Magnetic field, that is J cap. Now 8 5s are 40 and 400 into 10 raised to minus 2, 4 I cap, minus 6 5s are 30, 300 into 10 raised to minus 2, 3 J cap. Okay, and resultant, what will be resultant? Resultant force will be famous triplet 435. So that would be 5 Newton. Option number 2. Okay. Then we have given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion and the other is labeled as reason. A flexible, closed, irregularly shaped current carrying loop placed in a uniform magnetic field deforms into a circular shape with its magnitude moment along the magnetic field. Yes, true. For a given perimeter, a circle encloses the maximum possible area. That is true. And hence the magnetic flux linked with the loop is maximum, resulting in a maximum magnetic potential energy configuration. Why so? Because everything needs minimum potential energy. Like if I am dropping it, it is going downwards, but after reaching the surface it is not going downwards. You know why? Because after this surface it has get the lower potential energy, but if I will remove surface it will again go downwards to reach the minimum potential energy. So both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A, option A. So then a magnetic field of 1600 ampere per meter. So H is given as magnetizing field is 1600 ampere per meter. How I know? By looking at the unit. Produces a magnetic flux of 2.4. So that is flux. Okay, then Weber. In a bar of iron, cross-sectional area 0.2 centimeter square inside this bar. Okay, so basically B, what is magnetic field here? B equals mu naught H, yes or no? B equals mu naught H. So B equals mu naught H. H is given 1600, okay, equals magnetic field. So you know phi is B into area, right? So if I want magnetic field, so that will be phi by area. So phi flux is given 2.4 into 10 raised to minus 5 upon area. Cross sectional area 0.2 centimeter square. 0.2 centimeter square means 10 raised to minus 4. Okay, then we got the values, point removed 12, okay, and then we got, so what we are, permeability of the bar. So basically this is not mu naught, that is mu only. So mu would be what? 12 by 16, two zeros, so those two zeros will make 10 raised to minus 1 minus 3, 10 raised to minus 3, right? So 4 3s are 4 4s are 0.75. So 0.75 into 10 raised to minus 3, 7.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 Henry per meter. Okay. So then option number 1. In next problem, we have a metal rod moves at a constant velocity in a direction perpendicular to its length. So this is a metallic rod, it is moving with v velocity and that is perpendicular to its length. Simple. Direction perpendicular to its length, a constant uniform magnetic field exists in space in a direction perpendicular to the rod. So a constant uniform magnetic field exists in space in a direction perpendicular to the rod as well as its velocity. So let's say that magnetic field is either outside of the plane or inside the plane. Whatever you want, you can take. So then to the rod as well. So its velocity, select the correct statements from the following. The entire rod is at the same electric potential. No. Potential difference is there, that is BVL. V is velocity, L is length and B is magnetic field. Yes, you have studied that formula. So potential difference is there. There is an electric field in the rod. Yeah, that is true. How? Because if we have velocity in that direction and let's say B is outside the plane, so QV cross B, so we have magnetic field, magnetic force in this direction. That means if it is going linearly upwards, so we have electric field inside. Yes or no? Due to that QE vector, that electrostatic force, it is moving in that straight line. So option number 2. Okay. Then we have a coil is wound as a transformer of rectangular cross section if all the linear dimensions of the transformer are increased by a factor of 2 and the number of turns per unit length of the coil remains the same. The self inductance, so a coil is wound as a transformer of rectangular cross section if all the linear dimensions of transformer are increased by a factor of 2 and the number of turns per unit length of the coil remains same. So basically, first of all, you know what is self inductance, that is mu naught and n square A into L. A is what? Area. So now if length is increased by length becomes twice, so n is what? Number of turns per unit length, that is constant. So I am doing L proportional to A and L. Okay. So if length of square coil becomes 2L, then A dash area becomes 4A, right? If L dash becomes 2L, then area becomes 4A. Okay. So initially let that was L, AL. Now L dash will be what? A dash, that is 4 times of A into L, and L length is also increased by 2, so 2L. So then 4 to the 8. So the self inductance increases by a factor of 8. Okay, self inductance increased by the factor of 8. Then we have boats may have any series combination of LCR as shown in the circuit diagram. Match list 1 with list 2. Okay, so in this boats we have LCR. In this we have LCR. Okay, so we know this A is what? That is LCR only, and it is when omega L equals 1 upon omega C. Okay, then so in this case, see here phi is 90 degree. Phi is 90 degree. So power factor of the boats is cos phi 0. Cos phi 0. So A1, so A1, then B3, either it could be the right answer or it could be the right answer. Then C4 and C2. So C is what? In this case, C4 is what? Contains only CR. Yeah, if we have C capacitor, then only I current leads, otherwise I current leads. So C4, then D2. So D is what? Here current is lagging, so that is LR boats. So option 1 is correct. Okay, okay guys. Okay, then we have, okay, so this was the last question of the test paper. So guys, best of luck. You give your 100% in the examination, and thank you so much guys.
Hello students, welcome to the session. Today we are going to discuss NEET Grand Test Series number 7. This paper is moderate at the level of NEET examination. Without let us start the question number 1. Here it is a assertion and reasoning type question, and this is given in a statement 1 and a statement 2. So the statement 1 is given as excited hydrogen atom produce a discontinuous emission spectrum. Atomic spectrum is always discontinuous spectrum, and when electron is being excited and it is going to de-excited, so it is going to be emission spectrum, and this is a true statement. While specific charge of positive rays is constant, is saying specific charge E by m value is constant for electrons and E by m value is not constant for anode rays. It depends on the gas that we use in the discharge tube. Therefore, statement 2 is going to be wrong. So based on this, statement 1 is true and statement 3 is statement 2 is incorrect. So option 3 is the correct answer for this question. This is another named reaction type question. When alkyl chloride is treated with sodium iodide in the presence of acetone as a solvent, it follows SN2 reaction. You are going to get alkyl iodide plus sodium chloride. This reaction is popularly known as Finkelstein reaction. So option 1 is the correct answer for this question. Here is a simple numerical that is asking about the molarity and the molality of the solution are 0.5 and 0.6 respectively, the mass of water present in 200 milliliters of the solution. So that molarity is equal to weight number of moles into 1000 by volume of the solution, and molality is said to be number of moles into 1000 upon weight of the solvent. So we can say this molarity upon molality for the same solution, number of moles is being constant, is equal to weight of the solvent upon volume of the solution. So it is asked, molarity is given as 0.5 and molality is given 0.6 is equal to weight of the solvent you have to calculate, and weight of the volume of the solution is given 200 milliliters. Therefore, we can write this as weight of the solvent is equal to 0.5 upon 0.6 into 200. That comes to be 166.66. Option 3 is the correct answer for this question. Students, here is a match the following question. Here is the list 1 complexes are given and number of unpaired electrons are being given, and we have to match this. So, manganese, it is showing here it is a +3 oxidation state, iron is going to be +3 oxidation state, cobalt is going to be +3 oxidation state, and nickel is going to be +2 oxidation state. And with a strong field ligand, so manganese is going to have 2 unpaired electrons, iron is going to have the weak field ligand 5 unpaired electrons, and cobalt with weak field ligands 4 unpaired electrons, nickel with a strong field ligand here is going to be 0 unpaired electrons. So, on matching this, we are going to get 2 means A is matched with 2 and B is matched with, here it is on taking this 4 on elimination. So, you are going to see the 5, and C is matched with 3 and D is matched with 1. So, the option for this question is going to be second option is the correct answer. Students, here is the P block elements related to the general order. So, identify the correct trend. You have to pick whether it is a correct or incorrect before we solve the question. Second ionization energy of sulfur is greater than chlorine, is greater than phosphorus, is greater than silicon. 1 sulfur 3s2 3p4. So, 1 electron is lost, 3p3, half filled electron configuration sulfur is going to have the second ionization energy is stronger. So, that it is correct. And electronegativity in the Pauling scale, oxygen, chlorine, bromine and sulfur, it is a correct option. Oxygen and chlorine are say great, oxygen is greater than chlorine, bromine is greater than sulfur, and second period element is greater than third period element, it is correct. Negative electron gain enthalpy, it decreases down the group and the magnitude, it is also correct. And ionic radius and radius depends on number of shells. Third period is radius is greater than second period, and the charge, negative charge increases, radius also increases. P3 minus greater than N3 minus greater than F minus, and positive charge is there, magnesium 2 plus is going to be the smallest. So, I find A, B, C, D are correct. So, option 1 is the correct answer for this question. Students, oxidation number of sulfur atoms in S4 O6 2 minus, they are given as S double bond O, double bond O, O minus, double bond O, double bond O, O minus. So, if you check the oxidation state over here, it is going to be +5 oxidation state, it is going to be +5 oxidation state, 0 oxidation state, 0 oxidation state. So, it is going to +5, 0, 0 and +5. Option 2 is the correct answer for this question. Students, here are the certain compounds are given, hydrides of group 15 and group 16 and group 17 are given. Enthalpy of formation is negative for. Enthalpy of formation of negative for everyone, but enthalpy of formation of phosphine is going to be positive. Standard enthalpy of formation is going to be positive for phosphine. So, except this A, C, D, E, F are going to be negative. So, option 1 is the answer for this question. As enthalpy of formation of phosphine PHE3 is a positive, A, C, D, E, F are having negative enthalpy of formation. So, option 3 A, C, D, E, F is the correct answer for this question. Students, here is the chemical kinetics question. A and B products is a complex reaction if the concentration of B is kept constant and the concentration of A is tripled, then the rate increases by 3 times. So, rate with respect to A is going to be 1. So, B is kept constant. If the concentration of both A and B is doubled, then the rate gets doubled. So, which implies the rate with respect to B is 0. So, if B is doubled, the rate should impact. With respect to B is not impacting, only A is impacting. So, I would like to say rate is equal to K, A first order and B 0 order. So, the question is asked, the order with respect to B is 0 and A is respectively. So, 0, 1, option 4 is the correct answer for this question. Students, the incorrect combination are NO2 CHO SO3H, they show minus M effect as well as minus effect, which is correct. And O minus NH minus, they have positive mesomeric effect, and this is having a positive inductive effect, which is not correct. And CH3C2, CH3CH2, here it is having a positive inductive effect on hyperconjugation. As long as alkyl groups are there, they have the positive inductive effect, and alpha hydrogens are there, they are going to show hyperconjugation, correct. And this functional group show here positive mesomeric effect when they are attached to a conjugated system. It is showing that negative mesomeric effect, it is not correct. So, I could say the incorrect combination, A is incorrect combination and D is incorrect combination. So, B is incorrect combination and D is incorrect combination. So, the option for this question is going to be B and D. Option 4 is the correct answer for this question. Students, here is the assertion reasoning type. Phenol cannot liberate carbon dioxide with sodium bicarbonate, that's perfect. Any acidic compound can liberate carbon dioxide from sodium bicarbonate, but phenol do not. Why? Because the acidic strength of carbonic acid H2CO3 is greater than phenol. So, it is a strong acid and it is a weak acid. So, weak acid cannot displace the strong acid. So, this is the phenol is weaker acid than carbonic acid, and the reason is correct, and the reason is the correct explanation of assertion. So, the option 1 is the correct answer for this question. Students, it is a question based on aldol condensation followed by reduction. What will happen? Acetaldehyde is treated with sodium hydroxide and you heat it, you are going to get CH3, CH double bond, CH and CHO, but2 in all. This is the aldol condensation product. When it is treated with the sodium borohydride, sodium borohydride is a reducing agent which can reduce carbon to carbonyl group, but carbon to carbon double bond is not impacted. So, the B is going to be CH3, CH double bond, CH and CH2 OH. So, the answer for this question I could find is option 1 is the correct answer for this question. Students, this question is from chemical kinetics. It is given as 2A plus B gives rise 3C, and the rate of reaction with respect to A is 9 into 10 rise negative 4 and mole liter inverse second inverse. The rate of disappearance of B is. So, we can write this is a rate is equal to minus 1 by 2 dA by dt is equal to dB by dt. So, rate of disappearance of this of A, rate of disappearance of B. So, I would like to say this is equal to rate of disappearance is going to be here 9 into 10 rise negative 4. So, this is rate of disappearance of B, that is given in the case of mole liter inverse second inverse. Now, the question is asked for the minute inverse. So, this is dB by dt, you are going to be 60 into 9 into 10 raised negative 4. So, on doing so, you are going to get 5.4 into 10 raised negative 2 mole liter inverse minute inverse. So, option 4 is the correct answer for this question. Students, this question is based on qualitative salt analysis. So the principle involved in the precipitation of group 2 cations. So in the group 2 cations, what you do, you are going to say, let us say it is a copper 2 plus is a group 2 cation. Here you have to add HCl dilute and followed by H2S is passed through it. So that Cu2, so black color precipitate is observed. So it maintains the low concentration of S2 minus, then only copper sulfide is precipitated in the acidic medium. So option 2 is going to be the answer for this question. Students, this is talking about the isomerism concept, the total number of acyclic isomers with C5H10. C5H10 resembles CnH2n formula, which can have alkene or cycloalkane. So it is said that acyclic isomer, so you have to take the alkene only. So let us talk about the C5H10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is one, and this is another one. One pentene, 2 pentene, and this 2 pentene can have cis trans isomers, and you cannot have 3 pentene. So this is the 4, this is going to be 5, and this is the structure 1, structure 2, structure 3, structure 4 and structure 5, and the structure 6 comes to be like this, and the total 6 isomers. Option 2 is going to be the correct answer for this question. Students, this is a question for osmotic pressure. During the osmotic pressure measurements, the polymer at 300 Kelvin. The graph plotted between the pi on the y-axis and the C gram per liter on x-axis. If the slope of the graph is 2.463 into 10 raised negative 3, then the molecular mass of the polymer is. If you draw a graph between the pi versus C in gram per liter, so you are going to get a straight line, and the slope is going to be RT by M. So which is equated with 2.463 into 10 raised negative 3 is equated with 0.0821 into temperature, it is given 300, and the molecular mass. And if you do this, molecular mass is comes to be 10 raised 4. So option 2, 10 raised 4 gram per mole. Option 2 is the correct answer for this question. Here is the question based on the named reactions. So name the reaction in which a hydrocarbon is neither a reactant nor a product. Fatigue reaction. So fatigue reaction, you are going to get sodium metal in the dry ether, biphenyl is formed. So it is a hydrocarbon, so it cannot be. Gattermann-Koch reaction, you are going to get it directly from the benzene. Etard reaction, toluene is formed. Coal-based reaction, you are going to see the phenol is treated with CO and HCl and CuCl. You are going to get carboxylic acid and salicylic acid. Here the neither reactant nor the product, you can see there is no hydrocarbon is seen. So option 4 is the correct answer for this question. Students, here is the question based on assertion and reason. Transition elements exhibit variable oxidation states is a well-known fact in their compounds. The reason behind that, they have N-1 D 1 to 10 configuration, NS 0 to 2 configuration. So the energy gap between these two orbitals is very close, so that electron can make a jump generously from these two orbitals, can be responsible for making so many possible oxidation state according to their electronic configuration. So the transition metal elements, the energy difference between ns subshell and n minus 1d subshell is very small, which actually explains the assertion. So, the option 1 is the correct answer for this question. Students, here it is a question simply based on the moles calculations. So, here it is a list 1 and list 2 are given, and the list 1 5.3 grams of sodium carbonate is given. You have to take the number of ions or the atoms. So, I want to say 5.3 upon 106 number of moles into, there are 6 atoms into Avogadro number of atoms. So, it matches here. So, 1.68 into upon 56 is the molecular mass into 3 atoms are there into Avogadro number, and 0.2 moles Hg2Cl2 gives rise Hg2 2 plus and 2 Cl minus. So, that I want to say 3 into Avogadro number of ions and 22.4 liters of H2O at STP. So, milliliters. So, 22.4 milliliters. So, it is a liquid at STP. It is a liquid at STP. So, 22.4 upon 18 into 3 atoms into Avogadro number. On doing so, you will be having A matches with 3 and B matches with 1 and C matches with 4 and D matches with 2. Option 1 is the correct answer for this question. Students, here is a question based on the buffer. Which of the following is an acidic buffer? In order to make an acidic buffer, you need to have weak acid plus its salt with strong base. So, when you talk about the base, sodium hydroxide is there, weak acid, acetic acid is there. If you take the number of moles of this is going to be 0.200 milliliters of 0.1. So, 200 into 0.1 upon 1000, and this is CH3COOH is reacted with sodium hydroxide. It is going to give us CH3COO Na plus H2O. So, it is mixed with 100 milliliters of 0.1. So, it is going to be 100 milliliters of 0.1 upon 1000. So, this is excess and this is the limiting reagent. So, that it will be consumed, and the same amount is going to be formed here, 100 into 0.1 upon 1000. So, this is a leftover excess and this is a salt. Salt plus its weak acid is going to be a buffer. So, the answer for this question is going to be option 4 is the correct answer for this question. Students, this is a simple conversion, and C6H5CO NH2, when it is subjected for the reduction with lithium aluminum hydride, you are going to get C6H5CH2NH2. Amide group is converted into primary amine. When it is treated with NaOBr, it is going to undergo Hoffman bromamide degradation reaction. So, you can ruthlessly you can take it out and you are going to get aniline as a product. So, what are these? It is going to be alkyl amine and it is going to be aryl amine. Option 2 is the correct answer for this question. Students, this is a simple question based on the Kp calculation from chemical equilibrium. A solid gives rise to B and 2C. So, solid partial pressure is not considered, so that it stands to 1. At equilibrium, let us say it is said to be x and it is going to be 2x. You can say mole fraction of B is going to be 1 by 3 and mole fraction of C is going to be 2 by 3. So, partial pressure of B is going to be mole fraction of B into total pressure. It is going to be 1 by 3 into P. Total pressure is P and mole fraction of C is going to be 2 by 3 total pressure P. So, Kp expression is written as partial pressure of B into partial pressure of C square. So it is going to be 1 by 3P and it is going to be 2 by 3P square. That is equated to 32, it is given. And on solving P, you are going to get, so first you take the P cube and take the P, and it is going to be 6 atm is the answer. So answer 2 is the correct answer for this question. Here it is a simple question, select the wrong match. PbI4 doesn't exist because of this inert pair effect. Pb plus 4 is not stable and I minus is a strong reducing agent. These two cannot stay together. So it doesn't exist, it is correct. AlF3 is ionic salt. NF3 is unstable, wrong. NF3 is stable. And SF6 is a chemically inert and it is absolutely non-polar compound, and it is correct. So only 3 is a wrong match. Option 3 is the correct answer for this question. Here it is, general introduction of chalcogens. So how many of the given elements exhibit allotropy? All elements in the group 16 shows allotropy. Say oxygen, O, it exists as O2 gas as well as O3 ozone. It shows allotropy. Sulfur shows various allotropes, rhombic, monoclinic, rubber kind of things. So all the elements in the chalcogen family shows allotropy. Option 3 is the correct answer for this question. Students, this question is a basic lesson test. Let us see what happens. NH2 CO NH2, urea is treated with sodium. So nitrogen present in the urea is converted into sodium cyanide, and this is treated with H2SO4 in the presence of FeSO4. So you are going to get Na4 FeCN6, and little bit of Fe2 plus is partially converted into Fe3 plus. This Fe3 plus is going to displace, become Fe4 FeCN6. So ferric ferrocyanide is going to be Prussian blue. Option 2 is the correct answer for this question. Students, here it is another assertion and reasoning type question. Fructose gives a positive Fehling's test. Yes, fructose gives positive Fehling's test because it is going to have alpha hydroxy group in its ketonic functional group. So fructose is an alpha hydroxy ketonic functional group. Therefore, it is going to respond with the Fehling's test. It is both reason and assertion. Correct reason explains the assertion. Option 1 is the correct answer for this question. Students, the question is asking about select the incorrect trait. It is a toluene and it is a phenol, rate of nitration. Phenol, the electron releasing group is there, positive mesomeric effect. So this is a true statement. And here tertiary butane, so CH3 thrice and CH and CH3 CH2. The rate of photochemical CH3 ethane, and it is going to be tertiary butane. It is rate of photochemical reaction, it is greater. In the rate of photochemical reaction, tertiary hydrogen is more reactive than secondary hydrogen, is more reactive than primary hydrogen. Therefore, this is also correct. And this is a free radical substitution reaction. While you can see benzaldehyde and aliphatic propanol, benzaldehyde, rate of addition of nucleophilic addition HCN and OH minus, nucleophilic addition reaction, aliphatic aldehyde should be greater than aromatic aldehyde. So this is not correct match. And CH3 thrice CCl and CH3 CH2Cl, the rate of dehydrohallucination, tertiary alkyl halide is more reactive than secondary alkyl halide, is more reactive than primary alkyl halide for dehydrohallucination elimination reaction. This is also correct match. So incorrect trend is observed in the option 3 is the correct answer for this question. Here it is electrochemistry question. It is asking about during discharge of a lead storage battery, 2 moles of PbSO4 are formed. So, the question is given at anode, the quantity of electricity. So, during electrolysis, so discharge of the lead acid battery, you are going to see the formation of PbSO4. So, that to form 1 mole of PbSO4, 2 Faraday is required, and to form 2 moles of PbSO4 we require 2 into 2 Faraday is equal to 4 Faraday is required. So, 4 Faraday, option 3 is the correct answer for this question. Students, the question is asking which of the following combination is wrong. Ethyl alcohol, methyl alcohol can be distinguished by iodoform test. Ethyl alcohol gives a positive iodoform test, it is correct. It is an aldehyde, aromatic, so this is acetaldehyde and this is 2-phenyl ethanol, can be distinguished by Fehling's solution. Both being an aldehyde, you can't use the Fehling's solution, rather you could use iodoform test. Among HCOOH and CH3COOH, only one undergoes HVZ reaction. HVZ reaction is given by the carboxylic acid containing alpha hydrogen react with red phosphorus and chlorine. So, it is a correct. And C6H5NH2, CH3NH2, only one undergo diazotization. Yes, this can undergo diazotization and form a stable product at ice cold temperature. Yes, this will not. So, this is correct. So, all are correct and only this is a wrong match. So, option 2 is the correct answer for this question. Here it is a statement based question, statement 1 and statement 2. Statement 1, in aqueous solution of the stability order of cerium 4 plus and greater than cerium 3 plus. Generally in the lanthanoid elements, plus 3 oxidation state is generally stable, so that it is not correct, but except here europium plus 3 is stable than plus 3 here. Yes, it is plus 3 is stable, so that here it is a correct statement. So, statement 1 is incorrect and statement 2 is correct. Option 4 is the correct answer for this question. Students, here is the question from Faraday's second law. A certain quantity of electricity which liberates 2.24 liters of hydrogen gas. So, 2.24 liters at hydrogen gas at STP means it is going to be 0.1 mole. That is equal to 0.2 grams of hydrogen is liberated. So, it deposits X grams of copper from fused cuprous chloride. In the cuprous chloride, copper plus is converted into copper. So, N factor is going to be 1. So, what is the value of X? According to weight of hydrogen, weight of copper is equal to equivalent weight of hydrogen and equivalent weight of copper in this reaction. Weight of hydrogen we got it is 0.2 and you have to calculate weight of copper, and equivalent weight of hydrogen you can take 1 and 63.5 and you can directly take 64 divided by 1. On doing so, weight of copper is going to be, assume it to be weight of copper that is deposited as. On doing so, weight of copper comes to be 12.8 grams of copper will be deposited. Option 3 is the correct answer for this question. Students, here is a simple question from biomolecules. Glucose cannot react with. Glucose can react with HCN and it can react with phenylhydrazine, hydroxylamine to form glucose oxime. Okay, and glucose do not react with sodium bisulfite despite it is having an aldehyde group. It is clearly mentioned in the NCERT. So, the option 1 is the correct answer for this question. Students, this is a question based on nucleophilic aromatic substitution. Which of the following is the most reactive towards nucleophilic aromatic substitution reaction? Haloarenes usually do not react in nucleophilic substitution reaction. If any electron withdrawing group is present either at ortho position or para position, they are going to react. So, nitro group it is para position is the most reactive, and option 1 is the correct answer for this question. Students, is a question from the bond order and molecular orbital theory. Match the list 1 with list 2. The list 1 is given and the list 2 is given with the bond orders. So, I want to just give you a trick in the bond order. Number of electrons you take. So, bond orders you can take. So, if you can write the 14 over here, its bond order is going to be 3.0. You can decrease 13, 12, 11, 10, it goes like this. Decrease the number by 0.5, 2.0, 1.5, 1.0 and 0.5. Similarly, 15, 16, 17, it goes like 2.5, again you decrease here and it is 2.0, 1.5, it goes on like this. So, on doing so, you will be having option 3, A becomes 3 over here and B becomes 1 over here, C becomes 2 over here and D becomes 5 over here. So, it works and you can just use this trick. So, option for this question is going to be 3. Students, here is the group 17 elements from the P block elements. So, 3 reactions are given. So, what is the relation between the product A, B, C are formed? When NaBr react with a concentrated H2SO4, you are going to get bromine as a gas. And NaCl react with HCl, you are going to get volatile HCl, and that is going to be B. When NaCl react with K2Cr2O7 and concentrated H2SO4, you are going to get CrO2Cl2 chromyl chloride. So, you said that incorrect statement. So, A is Br2, B is HCl and C is going to be chromyl chloride. B and C are the same substances, which is actually not correct. Option 2 is the correct answer for this question. Students, here is the question based on the acidic strength of the carboxylic acid. So, as acidic strength increases, its Ka value increases and the pKa value decreases. When you see this is a bromoacetic acid and 2-chloropropanic acid, benzoic acid and formic acid, you have to apply inductive effect when the halogen comes. So, acidic strength is going to be 4 is greater than, 1 is greater than, 3 is greater than 2. So, benzoic acid is having the least acidic and have the highest pKa value. So, answer for this question is going to be option 2 is the correct answer. Students, here is the ionic equilibrium simple pH calculations. Here solution A and solution B is given, and you will be having a pH for the mixture A and pH for the mixture B, and the difference in the pH of this A and B is given. Let us talk about the H plus ion concentration over here. Let us say if NaVa is the normality and volume of the acid, NbVb is normality and volume of the base. If NaVa is greater than NbVb, you are going to get acidic solution. If NbVb is greater than NaVa, you are going to get a basic solution. So, the H plus ion concentration is going to be 15 minus 5 and the total solution is going to be 100 milliliter solution. So, you are going to get 10 power minus 1. So, the pH is going to be 1. In this case, the basic solution is formed, OH minus is going to be 5.5 minus 4.5 upon 55 plus 45, 100 milliliters. So, you are going to get 1 by 100 is going to be 10 raised negative 2. So, the POH is going to be negative log 10 raised negative 2. So, the POH is going to be 2 and the pH is going to be 14 minus 2 is going to be 12. And the difference between this is a solution B and this is a solution 1A. So the difference between these two, so pH difference is going to be 12 minus 1 is going to be the 11. Option 1 is the correct answer for this question. Here it is isomerism concept from the complexes. The least number of isomers are observed from. So it is clearly said that MAA2 and BC type. So you can say PT NH3 and NH3 and Br and Cl. And you can also see PT and NH3 and NH3 and BrCl. Only cis trans isomerism is seen. So the option for this is going to be option 2. It is the question based on the IUPAC nomenclature in the organic compounds. One of the following compounds will not have carboxylic acid as a suffix while naming in the IUPAC system. So actually COOH is written as oic acid as a suffix. That is a normal, but you can use a special suffix, that is oic acid. That happens whenever more than 2 carboxylic groups are present on the parent chain. So that it is going to be propane 1,2,3 carboxylic acid, and it is also going to be tricarboxylic acid, and the carboxylic acid is directly attached to the ring. So this is cyclohexapentane carboxylic acid. But here it is going to be 2-phenyl ethanoic acid, carboxylic acid is not used here. So for this question, option 2 is the correct answer for this question. Here is a question, calcium carbide is hydrolyzed to get, you are going to get CH triple bond CH, that is A. When it is treated with 1 mole of NaNH2 and followed by methyl iodide, so you are going to get CH3, C triple bond and CH, it is still terminal alkyne, can react with, this is going to be B, and it is treated with 1 more NaNH2 and CH3Br, you are going to get butadiene, it is going to be C. If you see the acidic strength, terminal alkynes are acidic. So the hydrogens present in the terminal alkyne, 2 acidic hydrogens, 1 acidic hydrogen, 0 acidic hydrogen. So acidic nature A is greater than B is greater than C. Option 1 is the correct answer for this question. Here it is, from the atomic structure, the energy of an electron in the first orbit is least in. Energy is equal to minus 13.6 into Z square by N square electron volt. So the energy is equal to negative Z square by N square. So as atomic number value increases, energy value decreases because it is a negative proportionality. So hydrogen atom, helium plus, lithium 2 plus, so beryllium 3 plus has the least value of energy for the first shell. So the answer 4 is the correct answer for this question. So this is a thermodynamics question, my dear students. Here's the process and thermodynamic parameters you see. Combustion of graphite carbon, okay, which is a graphite, which is a solid, plus oxygen, which is a gas, gives rise carbon dioxide, which is a gas. So it is an exothermic, so delta S is going to be positive and it is going to be 0, and it will have the exothermic process, delta H is going to be negative. So I would like to say here A3 entropy is going to be 0, and another one is going to be B. Combustion of benzene C6H6 plus O2 gives rise to CO2 plus H2. Combustion is always exothermic reaction, and it takes, entropy is increased, both are going to be here. So 6 CO2, so entropy, and I want to say here it is going to be B1, and reduction of carbon dioxide CO2 plus carbon gives rise carbon monoxide. So it is going to be in Ellingham diagram also you can see the downward trend, so that it is going to be A3, B1 and C2 here, both are positive in this reduction of carbon, and the answer for this question is option 2 is the correct answer for this question. Here it is based on the fundamental concept of Newman projections and conformation isomers. Energy difference between the staggered and eclipsed forms of ethane. So this is your eclipsed form and this is going to be a staggered form, hydrogen and a hydrogen. And this difference between these two eclipsed and it is going to be staggered, it is going to be 12.5, that is clearly given in the NCERT. The answer is going to be the first option for this question. Students, here is the question, assertion and reason type. Percentage by mass of a constituent element is the same by benzene C6H6 and ethane C2H6 as long as their empirical formula is the same, their percentage mass will be same, correct. And benzene and ethane form same products on ozonolysis. So on ozonolysis both are going to give you glyoxal as a product. And reason also correct, but reason has no relation with assertion, so option 2 is the correct answer for this question. Students, this is the question asking about the species with the maximum number of lone pairs on all atoms on the molecule. If you check with XeO2F2, XeO2F4, I could find the lone pair of electrons here 3 on each fluorine and 2 on each oxygen atom. Total 16 electron pairs are present. So the answer for this question is going to be XeO2F2. Answer 4 is the correct answer for this question. Students, here is a question from thermodynamics and electrochemistry linked question. So m plus x gives rise m plus x minus. So the E naught value of this is going to be 2 volts. If the delta H is given this much, then the entropy change for this process would be. We can calculate entropy change if you use delta G naught is equal to delta H naught minus T delta S naught. Yes, this is all standard states, temperature 298. So delta H is given, but something is missing, it is delta G naught. You can calculate delta G naught is equal to minus NF E naught cell. For this loss of 1 electron, you can see monovalent, so it is going to be minus 1 into 96,500 into 2 volts. That is given as minus 193,000 joules, so minus 193 kilojoules. You equate is minus 193 kilojoules, so delta H is given minus 222.8 plus temperature in the standard state 298 into delta S naught. So on solving delta S naught, you are going to get minus 100 kilojoules. So the answer for this is going to given as a minus. On solving delta S naught, you are going to get minus 100 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse. So the option 1 is the correct answer for this question. That's it, my dear students. This Grand Test 7 is a super paper, just exactly standard with NCERT related, and upcoming NEET examination will be in the same standard. Hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you.
Hello students, welcome to botany portion. So now we are going to start with botany portion. So the very first question is a diagram based question. in this particular question, we have been given a diagram. Identify A in the following diagram. This is my A, which is written. So this A basically represents the hypocotyle region. So in the embryo, we do have presence of epicotyle, which is above the embryonal axis, and we do have the hypocotyle, which is below the embryonal axis. This A is basically below the axis. That is why answer is option number 2, which is hypocotyle root axis. Next question is, the occurrence of more than one embryo in a seed is referred to. If we do have more than one embryo in the seed, that condition is called as polyembryony. Poly simply means many and embryony simply means embryo. So if we have presence of more than one embryo, that condition is called as polyembryony. Correct answer is option number 4. Next question is, this is assertion and reason type of question, in which first statement, this is assertion, which says Mendel's law of segregation is universally applicable. Okay. Number 2 says, reason says, in all sexually reproducing organisms, meiosis is compulsory, by which the chromosome number is reduced to half. So basically, Mendel gave us 3 laws. Number 1 was law of dominance, then we have law of segregation, then we have independent assortment. Out of these 3, only law of segregation is the one which is worldwide accepted, which is a universal law till now so far. So both the statements are perfectly correct, and this is the correct explanation also. Answer is option number 1. Next is, select the incorrect statement regarding linkage and recombination. So we need to find out the wrong statement regarding linkage and recombination. All the genes present on one chromosome form one linkage group. So all of those genes present on one will be forming one linkage group. Perfectly correct statement. The distance between the genes is inversely proportional to the strength of linkage. More the distance, more less will be the linkage, we can say. If we have linkage means the physical association between the genes which is there. If the 2 genes are more in the vicinity, which means the linkage is on the higher side. Perfectly correct. The distance between the genes is directly proportional to the percentage of recombination. So if the distance is more, which means the chances of crossing over are high. If chances of crossing over are on the higher side, which means we will be producing recombinations on the higher side. Always remember, if there is linkage, which means more of the parental characters are going to appear in the progeny, the ratios of the dihybrid cross will vary significantly. We will not get 9:3:3:1 ratio. We will get very different ratios if linkage is there. Now it all depends upon how tightly those 2 genes are linked. Based upon that, we can have linkage of 2 different types, which means if we have 2 genes which are closely associated or their distances apart. Based upon that, we have a different type of linkage. Correct statement. Then we have the number of linkage group in male Drosophila is 4. This is an incorrect statement. So question number, for this question, statement number 4 is incorrect statement, hence it is correct answer. Next is assertion and reason type of question. We have assertion statement which says the distance between 2 strands in a DNA helix is approximately uniform. So in the DNA helix, the distance is uniform. This thing is just because of one simple factor, that purine always combines with pyrimidine. That is why we're gonna observe the uniform distance from top to bottom. Okay, reason says in a DNA helix always a purine comes opposite to the pyrimidine. Perfectly aligned statement. Both of them are correct, and R is the correct explanation of assertion as well. Answer is option number 1. Next question is, we do have 2 statements here in this question. Number 1 says, Avery et al. Discovered that DNA alone from S bacteria caused R bacteria to become transformed. So Avery, MacLeod and McCarthy, these were the 3 scientists who gave this biochemical characterization. Okay, perfectly correct statement. Number 2, Hersey and Chase worked to discover whether it was protein or DNA from the viruses that entered the bacteria. So Hersey and Chase did the experiment on bacteriophage, and they told us that it is the unequivocal, the final proof that DNA is supposed to be the genetic material was given by them. Both the statements are perfectly correct, so answer has to be option number 1. Next is study the following statement. How many of them are correct? It has been asked. Okay. First one, RNA is known to be catalytic, hence it is reactive. Perfectly correct statement. DNA is less reactive and structurally more stable when compared to RNA. Perfectly correct. RNA is the first genetic material. Earlier, RNA was supposed to be the first genetic material. Perfectly correct. DNA has evolved from RNA with chemical modifications that make it more stable. Again, perfectly correct. All four of them are correct. So answer is option number 1. Next question is, during the DNA replication, the discontinuously synthesized fragments are later joined by. So in the DNA replication process, on the two strands, on the lagging strand specifically, the synthesis will be discontinuous. On the leading strand, synthesis is going to be continuous. So on the lagging strand, discontinuous synthesis is going to happen, and later on those fragments will be joined via the help of DNA ligase. It is a glue-like enzyme which is going to help in joining of those fragment. Answer is option number 3. Next question is, select the incorrect statement. We need to find out the wrong statement. Number 1, during tailing, adenylated residues are added to 3' and in template dependent. No, they have to be added in template independent manner. So the first statement is incorrect, and obviously question is asking us about the incorrect, so it will be correct answer. But yet, let's understand about 3 statements as well. The RNA polymerase 2 transcribes precursor of mRNA in the eukaryote. So polymerase 1 is we do have polymerase 1, 2 and 3. So it will be responsible for rRNA synthesis. Then this is for mRNA, and this will be for tRNA. So this is perfectly correct statement. The split gene arrangement represents probably an ancient feature of the genome. Again correct. The presence of introns is reminiscent of antiquity, and the process of splicing represents the dominance of RNA world. Perfectly correct. First is incorrect. Incorrect question has been asked. So my answer is option number 1. Next question, select the mismatch. Statin, Monoscus purpurus is giving rise to statin. Cyclosporin A product is from Trichoderma polysporum. Citric acid from Aspergillus. Streptokinase, this is a mismatch, incorrect, hence it is your correct answer. Next question is Triticum aestivum, which is my wheat, and Mangifera indica, which is my mango. They both shows more similarity at what level? So they both will be similar at division level, okay, because one belongs to dicot, one belongs to monocot. Next question is, we have two match the column type of question is there. We do have 2 columns, list 1 then list 2. Number 1 is Neurospora crassa. This is something which is extensively used in biochemical genetic work, okay. Agaricus is basically your common edible mushroom. Then Rhizopus is also called as bread mold. Then we have toadstools. These are the poisonous mushroom. Penicillium is a source of antibiotic. So Neurospora, A goes with option number 5, B goes with option number 4, C with option number 3, D is with 2, and E is with 1. So answer has to be your option number 3. Okay, next question. Select the incorrect statement, wrong statement with respect to the first true terrestrial plant. So first true terrestrial plants were my pteridophytes, okay. Bryophytes were supposed to be the amphibians of plant kingdom, okay. Now we need to find out the wrong statement. Used for medicinal purpose and soil binders, yes, perfectly correct. They have well differentiated vascular tissues. These are the ones from where vascular bundles started to appear. So these are the ones which has got yes. The dominant stage in life cycle bears sex organ, antheridia and archegonia. The dominant stage is going to be sporophyte. So this is my wrong statement. Then we have in majority of these plants, all the spores are of same kind. Yes, most of them are homosporous. Few of them are heterosporous, which is my Selaginella and Salvinia. So option number 3 is wrong. Rest all are correct. Answer has to be option number 3 here. Next question is, arrange the following statement based on evolutionary trends in plant kingdom. Okay. So first of all, we know that evolutionary, first of all, we have algae, then we have bryo, then we have pterido, then we have the gymnos, and then we have the finally angiosperms. Excuse me. Okay. First of all, non-embryophyte thalloid gametophyte. This represents your algae. Okay. Then number 2 is dominant gametophytic plant body having multicellular sex organ. It represents your bryophyte. Okay. Then we have plant group with sporophytic stage and gametophytic stage, both are independent. It represents your pteridophytes. Then we have haploid nutritive tissue that nourishes the embryo. This represents your gymnosperms. Sexual reproduction occurs through specialized structure called as flowers. This represents my angiosperms. Okay. So algae being the most primitive, then bryo, then pterido, then gymno, then angio. In such manner only the properties has been given. So answer is option number 2. Study the following diagram and identify the ploidy level of A, B and C. This A is your capsule. These are your rhizoids. Okay. This is your seta. Okay. Perfect. So, this is 2N for capsule. Then for rhizoids, it is N, and for seta it is again 2N. So it is 2N, N and 2N. Okay. This is my 2N rhizoids. 2N. This is. Okay. Next question is, which of the following statement is incorrect regarding the genetic material? Wrong statement with respect to tobacco mosaic viruses. It has pentose sugar with OH group at 2 carbon. Correct. It has both adenine and guanine. Yes. Chargaff rule is not applicable. Yes. Phosphodiester bond are absent as genetic material is single-stranded RNA. This is a incorrect statement, hence correct answer. Next question is, in this question we have matched the column. List 1 and list 2 has been given there. So in the list 1 we can see the type of different flowers which are there. So Apocarpus gynosium, it is, example is lotus. Tetramaris is your mustard. Pentamaris is again your beans. Asymmetrical are your canna. Okay. Epigynous flower, the ones in which your gynosium is on the lower side and rest all flower parts are above it. This is in the cucumber. So A1, B2, C3, D goes with 5 and E goes with your 4. Okay. Answer has to be option number 4. Next question, match the following statement. We have been given 5 statement in this question. First statement, in mango and coconut fruit is drupe that has middle stony. It has to be hard mesocarp is not there. It has to be endocarp, which is stony. Incorrect. Fruit is the characteristic feature of flowering plant. Yes, in the flowering plant, flower will be there and hence fruit will also be there. Parthenocarpic fruit have sexual seed. No. In seeds of castor, the endosperm is formed as a result of double fertilization. Okay, this is perfectly correct. Then we have in bean, pea, orchid seeds are non-endospermic. So B, D and E are correct. Okay, perfect. The type of leaf in neem. In the neem tree, we're gonna find pinnately compound leaf. Okay, pinnately compound leaf wherein the midrib. On the midrib, we're gonna see that different leaflets are present and all the leaflets are combined together with the help of middle rachis. If they are combined with the help of a common point, we call it palmately. If they are on the common axis, it is pinnately compound. Okay. Component of ground tissue system having stellar. In the steel part, we have pericycle. Answer is option number 4. Next question is, select the odd one out with respect to the type of chromosome based on the number of arms. So, in the metacentric, we do have 2 arms, both are equal because centromere is present in the centermost part. Telocentric, centromere is at the tip. In such a way, we have only 1 arm, 2 arms are not there. Acrocentric, Again, your centromere is near to the tip, but yet we do have two arms. Some metacentric, the centromere is near, little away from the center. Again, we have the two arms. We have two arms, we have two arms, we have two arms. Here we don't have, we just have one arm. The answer is option number 2. Next is carotenoid pigment are present in. Carotenoids are the colored pigment. Leucoplast, they will not be present. Elioplast, not present. Chloro, yes. Chromo, yes. All type of colorless, no. So B into D and C, answer is option number 3. Okay, next question. In which of the following aspects one can observe considerable degree of variability in mitochondria of different cell? In the different cell mitochondria, the shape, size, number can be different. Function will always be same, which is production of ATP. So A, B and C has to be the correct answer, which is option number 2. Next question. Given below are the two statements. We have statement 1 and 2. First statement says, meiosis does not occur in the sexual life cycle of organism having dominant gametophyte. It will occur. It will occur. Incorrect. Cells in genoid phase are metabolically active. Yes, they are metabolically active, but they are not proliferating until unless they are called to do so. Incorrect and correct. First is incorrect. Second is correct. Answer has to be option number 4. Next question. Anaphase promoting complex is a protein degradation machinery. Okay, necessary for proper mitosis of animal cell. If let's say APC is defective, if the APC is defective but natural, the function that was supposed to be in the anaphase will not be happening. In the anaphase, my centromere split and sister chromatids basically separate. So chromosomes will not be able to segregate. Answer is option number 4. Next question. In meiosis, reduction of chromosome number occurs in reduction. So in the meiosis 1, specifically we have prophase 1, meta, ana, and then we have telophase 1. So at the telophase 1 stage, we're gonna find the actual reduction which is found. So answer to this question has to be option number 2, which is telophase 1. Okay. Next question. Arrange the events that occur in meiosis 1 in correct sequence. Okay. So beginning of separation of homologous chromosome. Okay. Terminalization of chiasmata. Movement of homologous chromosomes. Okay. Compaction. First of all, there will be compaction happening. Compaction of the chromosome material. Separation of sister chromatid, formation of, okay. After that, formation of the Picayetine stage. Bivalents will be formed first. Later on, they will be, moved to the different poles. So formation will be happening. Then movement of homologous chromosomes to the opposite pole. Yes. Movement will be there. Then beginning of separation. Yes, separation will start to happen. Then there will be terminalization of chiasmata. Yes, and then there will be separation of sister chromatids. So answer has to be option number 2. Okay. Yes, to opposite pole. Correct. Next question. Which of the following event is not a part of interkinesis? So in the interkinesis, there is no DNA replication which is happening. Okay. Again, DNA will not be replicated at all. Answer is option number 3. Next is, we have the two statements in this question. So first is, pure protein and fat are never used as respiratory substrate. Yes, they are never used. RQ value of fat is less than 1 as they are poor in oxygen. So RQ value of fat and protein will always be less than 1. For carbohydrate, it will always be 1. For fat and protein, less than 1. For organic acid, it's always more than 1. Both the statements are correct statement. Answer is option number 1. Then we have next question, which is given below the two statement. First statement, Calvin cycle occurs in all the type of plant in the mesophyll cell. So in the C3 plant, it will happen into mesophyll. In the C4 plant, Calvin cycle will be into bundle sheath cell. So this is an incorrect statement. Then carbon fixing reactions in photosynthesis mostly occurs in the daytime. Yes, that is perfectly correct. 1 incorrect, 2 is correct. Answer has to be option number 4. Yes, next question. In non-cyclic electron transport, plastoquinone operates between. So if we speak about plastoquinone, It is like we have first of all pheophytin. Okay, before this we have for system 2. Then we have plastoquinone, cytochrome B6F. Then we have plastocyanine. Then 1. Then first iron sulfur ferredoxin. Yes, okay, so this is between this and this, so PS2 and cytochrome B6F complex. Okay, study the following characters and how many of above characters are observed only in chloroplast, not in mitochondria. Double membrane, both of them are there. Thylakoid, only into chloroplast, not into mitochondria. Cristae, only into mitochondria, not into chloroplast. Translation, both of them are capable of doing. 70S ribosomes, both will be having chlorophyll, again specific to chloroplast. Succinic dehydrogenase complex and then chemiosmotic. So 2, thylakoid and chlorophyll are something specific to my chloroplast. So 2 features. Okay. Next is, which of the following combination correctly describe the ABO blood grouping system? So ABO is a typical example of multiple allelism. It is also example of your codominance. Okay. So number of genes. For the ABO blood group, basically, we do have 1 gene and that is coding for 3 alleles. Okay, and then the number of phenotypes, we can have A, B, AB and O, 4 phenotype, and with respect to that we can have 6 genotype. Answer is option number 2. Okay, perfect. Next is the correct sequence of steps followed in Hershey and Chase. First infection will be there, then blending and then centrifugation will be there. Answer has to be option number 1. Okay, then we have ZW, ZZ type of determination can be observed into. This will be in the case of birds, because birds are going to show us what? Female heterogamety. Female heterogamety. Answer is option number 3, which is birds. Next question is, who found that outdoor plots with more species showed less year-to-year variation in total biomass? It was my David Tillman. Answer is option number 1. Next is, which of the following statement is not true? Not true about competition. Not true. Both the interacting species are negatively impacted. Yes, of course. Then tortoise became extinct within the decade. हाँ बिल्कुल. In general, herbivores and plants appear to be more adversely affected. Both the species are positively, both will be negatively affected. So answer has to be option number 4. Which of the following is the most important, very important line given in the NCERT? NCERT says that all of these 4 are causes of extinction, but the most important one is habitat loss and fragmentation. NCERT has written it is the most important. Okay, so answer has to be your option number 3. Next question is, in the process of decomposition, water-soluble inorganic nutrients go down into the soil horizon and get precipitated as unavailable salt. This is called as leaching. Answer is option number 4. Then next question is, if a color-blind woman marries a man whose mother was homozygous. See, color-blind women. So the female is XC, marries a man whose mother was homozygous. This is man, mother was homozygous for the normal. Acha, homo for normal color vision. Okay, so it is my normal. Perfect. What is the probability of their progeny? This is female, this is male. We will make a Punnett square. Here it is XC, here X and Y, XC. This is Y. Okay, so we have XCY, we have XCY. So this is 50%, carrier. This is colorblind male. So both the son are colorblind and daughters are carrier. All daughters will be All sons will be colorblind. Yes. All daughters will be homozygous for normal color vision. No, no, they are carrier. Both of them are carrier. 50% of the son will be normal. Nahi, all of them are color blind. So answer has to be option number 2. Next question, we do have two statements. Number one statement says gross primary productivity of an ecosystem is the rate of production of organic matter during photosynthesis. Perfectly correct. And your second statement says net NPP is the biomass available to herbivores. Both of them are correct. 1 and 2 both are correct statement. Okay. Next question is, which of the following is a major conduit for energy in aquatic is grazing food chain? Answer is option number 2. Okay, so this is it for today's test. I hope you have answered all the questions correctly. If still you have any kind of doubt, you can reach out to us. Stay tuned. Take care. All the best.
Hello everyone. So let's discuss the zoology portion of GT7. Let's see what is the first question. So the first question is a match the following type of question. So let's see what is elution. So elution is the separated band of DNA are cut out from the agarose gel and extracted from the gel piece. So after gel electrophoresis, the separated piece of DNA will be cut and separated from the agarose gel, and that is termed as elution. So A is matched with 4, right? We got our answer, but still let's match other options. What is staining of DNA? Staining of DNA will be done with ethidium bromide. So B is matched with 1. Now coming to spooling. Spooling is when purified DNA ultimately precipitate out after the addition of chilled ethanol and that DNA is removed. So that is termed as spooling. So C is matched with 3. Now coming to gene cloning. It is production of more identical copies of a gene. So D will be matched with 2. Right. So we got our answer for this question. It is 3. Coming to the next question. Choose the restriction site which is present in ampicillin resistant gene in PBR322. So in the ampicillin resistant gene, there is PVU1 and PST1. So we have here this option PVU1. So correct answer here will be 2. Coming to the next question, choose the incorrect statement about PCR. Tag polymerase enzyme is obtained from Thermus aquaticus fungi, which is wrong. So this is the incorrect option. Answer is 1 because Thermus aquaticus is a bacteria, right? 2 sets of DNA primers are involved. That's true. Primer extension occurs after primer annealing. That's true. PCR is an in vitro process. Yes, outside the body or cell. Yes, it is true. So correct answer here is 1. Next question, study the following and we need to find out how many of them are incorrect. So the capacity to generate a whole plant from any cell or explant in vitro is called totipotency. That is true. So explants or any part of plant that give rise to a new plant, yes, definitely this is termed as totipotency. Somatic hybridization is useful to overcome sexual incompatibility. That's true because we are fusing the protoplast. Now Bt toxin protein exists as active protoxin in the bacterial cell. No, it is inactive protoxin. RNA interference take place in all eukaryotic organisms as a method of cellular defense. This is right. The only incorrect one is C, that means 1. So answer should be 3. Let's move on to our next question now. Match list 1 with list 2. So we have here inulin. So inulin is a polymer of fructose, right? So inulin is a polymer of fructose. A is matched with 4. So we can eliminate first and the third option. Now insulin. Insulin is a protein having a peptide bond and acting as hormone. So insulin will be matched with 5, right? So again a tie between these two options. Chitin. Chitin is a polysaccharide having complex amino sugars. So if you can recall, chitin is polymer of N-acetyl glucosamine or NAG and it is a homopolymer, right? So C is matched with 2. Now coming to cellulose. Cellulose it is not a storage polysaccharide, it is a structural polysaccharide. So we will match D with 3. Now coming to starch, it is a storage polysaccharide in plant cell, right? And glycogen is a storage polysaccharide in animal cell, right? So A is matched with 6th one. Now remember, the E is matched with 1, right? So we got our answer. It should be the second option. So answer is 2. Let's move on to our next question. Statement 1 says, each enzyme with substrate forms highly reactive but short-lived enzyme substrate complex that dissociate into product and unchanged enzyme directly. So remember, this is incorrect. Why? Because after the formation of enzyme substrate complex, there will be formation of enzyme product complex, and then you will get the enzyme and the product. So this is wrong. Now catalytic power is seen in certain proteins and nucleic acid like ribozyme, that is true. So majority of the enzymes are protein, but some can be nucleic acid like ribozyme, which are RNA, right? So statement 1 is incorrect, but 2 is correct. Answer should be 4. Next question. So let's discuss next question. Arachidonic acid is 20 carbon unsaturated fatty acids, right? Unsaturated fatty acids will have double bonds. So correct answer for this question should be 3. Next question. In an enzyme catalyzed reaction, altered structural states are. So altered structural states are many, right? These are even unstable, right? They are between a stable substrate and product. So if we check other options, 1 definitely we are going to eliminate, and here it is written stable, so it is wrong. So correct answer here should be 3. Next question. Arrange the following events of human embryonic development in a correct sequence. Very interesting question from human reproduction. So first of all, out of all these options, I can see the first one should be zygote. Then this zygote will undergo cleavage, and then there will be formation of blastomeres, right? So it will be D, C and A. So is there any option D, C, A? Yes, we have 3 options. Then you can see E or F. So after blastomere, there will be formation of morula. So it should be E and not F, right? Right? And after morula, there is blastocyst. That means after E, there should be F, and then only there will be implantation, that means B, right? So correct answer, that's why here will be 4. Next question. Now read the following about the function of renal tubules and choose the incorrect statement. So repeatedly I tell you, pay attention to the correct and incorrect terms, true or false terms, right? So nearly all the essential nutrients and 70 to 80% of electrolytes and water are reabsorbed by proximal convoluted tubules, PCT, absolutely right. The ascending limb of loop of Henle. So if we can recall the descending and the ascending limb of loop of Henle, it is saying the ascending limb of loop of Henle is permeable to water but allow transport of electrolyte actively or passively. So this ascending limb of loop of Henle is definitely permeable to solute, right? And they are saying impermeable to water, that is true. Allow transport of electrolyte, that is true. Actively or passively, that is true. Now collecting duct is capable of reabsorption of H plus and K plus ion, which is wrong. The descending limb of loop of Henle is permeable to water but almost impermeable to electrolytes, that is also true. So we want the incorrect statement. The only incorrect statement here will be C, that means the answer should be 3. Be careful with ascending and descending limb of loop of Henle. So answer here is 3. Next. Statement 1 says the homeothermous vertebrates. In homeothermous vertebrates, fertilization is internal and development is direct. First of all, which ones are homeotherms? Homeotherms are aves and mammals. So will they show internal fertilization and direct development? That's true, right? In chondrichthyes, gill slits are separate and lack an operculum. Operculum is gill cover. So gill cover is not there in chondrichthyes, so that is also true, right? Both the statements are correct. So correct answer here should be 1. Next question. The rate of appearance of new forms is much slower in fishes and birds than in microbes. That's true, and it depends on the life cycle, lifespan, right? So fishes and birds have longer lifespan and hence longer generation time than the microbes, absolutely. So assertion is also correct, reason is also correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion as well. So correct answer for this question should be 1. Right? Be careful with the sequence of options also. Read it and then mark it. So answer here is 1. Now list 1 and list 2 needs to be matched. So what are walls that are barrier method of contraception? So they cover the cervix, blocking the entry of sperm. So A is matched with 3, right? Then coming to oral contraceptive pill, they alter the quality of cervical mucus to prevent entry of sperm. That means B is matched with 1, right? Now coming to C, sterilization is the surgical intervention that blocks gamete transport. So C is matched with 4, right? So we got our answer. And D, Nirodh, which is the brand name of condom. So it will be matched with ejaculated semen would not enter the female reproductive tract. That means 2. So correct answer for this question will be 4. Next one. So statement 1 says special vascularized structure called gills are used by most of the aquatic arthropod and mollusk for respiration. So yes, there are gills in aquatic arthropods and mollusk for respiration. That is true. In lower invertebrates like sponges, coelentrates, flatworms, exchange of oxygen with carbon dioxide occur by simple diffusion over the entire body surfaces. That is also true. So both the statements are correct. Correct answer should be 1. Next. Both extracellular and intracellular digestion occurs in. Very interesting question. So extracellular digestion and intracellular digestion occurs in Cnidaria and Ctenophora. So we need to find out which ones are Cnidaria and Ctenophora. So here we have Adamsia, Scypha, not in Porifera. So we will eliminate this. Pennatula, C. pen, Pleurobrachia, Ctenophora, C. gooseberry, and Physalia, Portuguese men of war. So yes, this is the correct answer. Meandrina, brain coral, Euspongia, sponges, then Aurelia, apis, honeybee, no. So we got our answer. Correct answer here should be 2. Next question. Statement 1 says the coagulum is formed mainly by a network of thread called fibrins in which dead, damaged, formed elements of blood are trapped. That is true, and it is the question from blood coagulation from body fluid and circulation chapter. Now fibrins are formed by conversion of inactive fibrinogen in the plasma by active enzyme prothrombin. So prothrombin is inactive, thrombin is active. So here they are saying prothrombin is active, which is wrong. So statement 1 is true, okay, but 2 is incorrect. So answer here should be 3, right? Next, protonephridia are the excretory structures in. So not only in flatworms, it is also there in cephalochordata. So here we have one example of cephalochordata, that is Amphioxus, also termed as branchiostoma or lancelet. So here the answer should be 1. Next. Assertion says sperm formation continues even in old men, but formation of ovum ceases in women after the age of 50 years. So that is true. Both spermatogenesis and oogenesis are initiated for the first time at puberty. This is wrong. So when we talk about onset of spermatogenesis, it is at the time of puberty but not oogenesis. So this is wrong. So assertion is true, reason is false, answer should be 3. Next question. LNG20 is hormone releasing IUD. So very simple question. So this will be matched with 1. So LNG20 is hormone releasing IUD. Right? Correct answer is here 1. Next question. Let's read the question carefully. Nearly 45 to 50 million MTPs are performed in a year. So we need to very careful with the data which is mentioned in NCERT. So here it is written that nearly 45 to 50 million MTP, yes, that is right, are performed in a year all over the world. That is right. You need to check the keywords, which accounts for 1/5 of the total number of conceived pregnancy in a year. Absolutely correct statement. The government of India legalized MTP in 1951. It is 1971. So it is wrong. MTPs are essential in certain cases where continuation of the pregnancy could be harmful or even fatal either to the mother or to the fetus or both. That is true. Now, according to MTP Amendment Act in 2017, if the pregnancy has lasted more than 12 weeks but fewer than 24 weeks, it may be terminated with the opinion of one registered medical practitioner. It should be 2. So, at the end, in the question, we want the incorrect statements. So, incorrect statement for us will be B and then it will be D, right? So, B and D are incorrect. Correct answer should be 1. Next, which part of respiratory system is the site of actual diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide between blood and the atmospheric air? So, yes, it is the exchange part. Answer here will be 2. Okay. Now, let's go through the next question. Observe the vertebrate shown below. So, this is crocodile, which is a reptile, right? Now, its heart is 4-chambered, that is true. It is poikilothermous animal, that is true. Exhibit internal fertilization, yes. And its digestive tract include a crop and gizzard, no. That is there in aves, right? So, this is wrong. So, correct answer here will be 4. Next. In all connective tissue, the cells secrete fiber of structural proteins called collagen or elastin except. Okay. So, definitely it will not be there in fluid connective tissue, and here the example of fluid connective tissue will be blood. So, correct answer here will be 2. Next. At which of the following stages can the introduction of a functional ADA gene into the cell provide a permanent cure for ADA deficiency? So, it is the early embryonic stage. If we can do gene therapy, yes, we can provide permanent solution to this condition. So, answer here should be 1. Now, fibrous joint present between the cranial bone do not allow any movement. Yes, so when we talk about the cranium, the bones in the cranium, yes, in between them there is fibrous joint and it is immovable joint, right? So, this is true. The flat cranial bones fuse end to end with the help of cartilage. No, there are fibers and they do form sutures, but these are fibers and not cartilage. This is wrong. So, assertion is true, reason is false. Answer here should be 3, right? Next. The exaggerated response for the immune system to certain antigens present in the environment is called allergy. So, allergy is the overreaction of your immune system. That is true. And the use of drugs like antihistamine. So, the symptoms of allergy is because of increased secretion of histamine. So, definitely antihistamine is going to help. And adrenaline, steroids quickly reduce the symptoms of the allergy. That is true, right? So, for the treatment of allergy, we give antihistamine, adrenaline and steroids to the patient. So, both the statements are correct and the correct answer should be 1. So, let's see next question. So, we have here A, B, C and D, the fill in the blanks. Let's match it. So, Wuchereria, mode of infection will be mosquito bite by female Culex mosquito. This filariasis will be caused. Now, coming to A, is it given mosquito bite anywhere? No, it is given contaminated food. Coming to B, trichophyton using towels and clothes of infected individuals. It will be ringworm infection which is caused by fungi. So, B given ringworm anywhere? Yes, absolutely. So, we got our answer, it is 4. Now, let's come to C, mosquito bite and malaria. So, malaria caused by plasmodium. So, C given as plasmodium anywhere? No. Ascaris by contaminated food causes ascariasis anywhere given? D, no. So, correct answer we got, it is 4, right? Next one. Next question. The cerebral hemisphere are connected by tract of nerve fibers called. So tract of nerve fibers are termed as corpus callosum, that is 1. Right? Next, observe the following diagrammatic representation of a standard ECG and select the correct option. So we have P wave, QRS complex and T wave. So end of the T wave marks the beginning of ventricular systole, no marks the end of systole. Line from NCERT. Ventricular contraction starts shortly after Q. So we want the correct option, so that is true. QRS complex represent the repolarization of ventricles? No. QRS complex tell us about or represent the depolarization of ventricles. Right? Now, so this is wrong. The P wave represent the repolarization of atria? No, it represents the depolarization of atria. And T wave represents the repolarization of ventricle. Right? So we got our answer. Correct answer here should be 2. Right? Next question. So we have list 1 and list 2. Let's match it. Epinephrine is amino acid derivative. Parathyroid hormone is hypercalcemic hormone. Thymosin is a peptide hormone and vasopressin deficiency will lead to diabetes insipidus, right? Which is characterized by diuresis, because the function of vasopressin will be reabsorption of water from DCT and collecting duct, and this reabsorption of water will lead to decrease in urine output or water loss from urine, right? So that's why it is preventing diuresis, and that's why we call it as antidiuretic hormone. But if it is secreted less, then the person will suffer from diabetes insipidus with polyuria, diuresis, right? So A is matched with 3, B is matched with 4, C is matched with 1 and D is matched with 2. We got our answer, it should be 2. So which of the following are not the effect of glucocorticoids? Pay attention to the term not. Stimulation of gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis is formation of glucose from non-carbohydrate source. So that is a function. Lipolysis, lipid breakdown. Proteolysis, protein breakdown. So these are the functions. So this is true. Influencing metabolism, pigmentation, menstrual cycle and defense capability, not of glucocorticoids, right? Not of glucocorticoids, but a hormone secreted by pineal gland, that is melatonin, right? So this is wrong. Maintenance of the cardiovascular system, that is correct. Differentiation of T lymphocytes, not at all. Growth of mammary gland and formation of milk, no. So which of the following is not the function of glucocorticoids? It should be B, D, E, right? So correct answer here should be 4. Next. The most unique mammalian characteristic in the presence of milk producing gland, right? So the most unique mammalian characteristic is the presence of mammary gland, milk producing gland, and that is true. The skin of mammals is unique in possessing hair, that is also true. Both are true but not related to each other. So it should be B or 2. Both are true but not the correct explanation of assertion. So it is 2. Next. Which one of the following statement is not true? Animals called lobe fin evolved into first amphibian. Yes. So lobed fin fishes evolved into first amphibians. That's true. By the time of 5,000 million years ago, invertebrates were formed and active. It was not 5,000, it was around 500. Some of the land reptiles, this is wrong. Some of the land reptiles went back into the water to evolve into fish-like reptiles probably around 200 million years ago. That is true. And due to continental drift, pouched mammals of Australia got isolated and survived because of the lack of competition from any other mammal. That is also true. So we wanted the incorrect statement, that means the answer should be 2. Next. Cigarette smoking increases the carbon monoxide content in the blood and reduces the concentration of heme bound oxygen. So when carbon monoxide binds with hemoglobin, it forms carboxyhemoglobin, and this binding is irreversible. So definitely less hemoglobin is available for oxygen to bind. So this is true. Nicotine stimulates the adrenal gland to release adrenaline and noradrenaline into the bloodstream, increasing the heart rate and blood pressure. So that is also true function of nicotine present in cigarette smoke. So both are true, but definitely not related to each other. So correct answer will be 2. Okay. So both are true, but not the correct explanation of assertion. So answer should be 2. Next. Air sacs of lung have simple squamous epithelium, areolar tissue. Beneath the skin, ligaments are dense regular connective tissue, cartilage is present in the tip of the nose. So A is matched with 4, right? We have just one option here. B is matched with 3, C is matched with 1 and D is matched with 2. So we got our answer, it should be 3. Over 95% of all existing transgenic animals are mice. So that is the correct data, right? Transgenic animals have had their DNA manipulated to possess and express an extra foreign gene. Yeah, that's why we are calling them as transgenic animals. In 1997, the first transgenic sheep, Rosie. So Rosie was a cow and not sheep. So this is wrong. Biological products produced by transgenic animal develop allergic reaction in the majority of the people. Not true, because we are using some products from transgenic animals, right? Now transgenic mice are being developed for use in testing safety of vaccine. Yes, absolutely. So which statements do we want? The correct ones. So A is correct, B is correct, E is correct. So correct answer for this question should be 4. Right? Next. Conus arteriosus is present on the ventral side of the heart of frog. So conus arteriosus, ventral side of the heart. Mesoarchaeum. Okay, it connects the testis to the kidney. So adheres the testis to the upper part of the kidney. Mesoarchaeum, B is matched with 5. Urinary bladder will be ventrum to the rectum. C is matched with 2. Renal portal system is a special venous connection between kidney and lower part of the body. So renal portal system is unique to frog, which is absent in us. Right? We do have hepatic portal system that is also present in frog, but frog have renal portal system that is absent in us. So A is matched with 3, B is matched with 5, right? C is matched with 2 and D is matched with 4. So we got our answer, it should be option number 4. Next. Read the following statement about the male reproductive system in humans. The seminiferous tubule of the testis open into vasa efferentia through rete testis. Yes. So seminiferous tubule, then rete testis, then vasa efferentia, then epididymis and then vas deferens. So definitely this is true. The male reproductive system is located in the pectoral region. No, it should be pelvic region. Pelvic. So this is wrong. The urethra originate from bladder, extend through the penis to its external opening called urethral meatus. That is true. The male accessory gland include paired seminal vesicle. Yes. Paired prostate gland. No, it is unpaired. Paired bulbourethral gland. That is true, but ultimately wrong. So we want the correct statements. A and C were correct here. So correct answer here is 2. Right? Next. The secretion of gonadotropins increases gradually during the follicular phase of the menstrual cycle and stimulate follicular development as well as secretion of estrogen by the growing follicles. So when we talk about gonadotropins are FSH and LH. So during the follicular phase, their concentration will increase in blood. It will peak at the time of ovulation, but in the follicular phase it is increasing which is leading to follicular development, and these growing follicles will release estrogen. So this is true. Both LH and FSH attain a peak level in the middle of the menstrual cycle, about 14th day. Yes, that is also true, and it leads to ovulation. So both the statements are correct. Okay, so correct answer here should be 3. Easy. Now osteoporosis, so we want here the correct match. Osteoporosis, is it increased bone mass and decreased chances of fracture? No, opposite. So this is not matched. Myasthenia gravis, is it a genetic disorder? No, it is autoimmune disorder. Our body's own immune system start attacking the acetylcholine receptors in the which are present in the postsynaptic membrane, or which is present in the muscles. So acetylcholine cannot bind and muscles could not contract. So it is autoimmune disorder and not a genetic disorder. Gout, inflammation of joint due to accumulation of uric acid crystals, that is true. And muscular dystrophy is a genetic disorder. Here they have written autoimmune disorder, which is wrong. So we know that the correctly matched pair here will be gout. So answer here should be 3. Easy. Now cave paintings by prehistoric humans can be seen at Bhimbetka shelter in Bastar. No, it's in MP, right? So Bhimbetka rock shelter in Raisen district of MP, that is true, right? So correct answer here should be 4. Be careful, you might make a silly mistake here. So arrange the following part of alimentary canal of cockroach in correct sequence. So first of all, definitely it will be pharynx, right? So pharynx, then esophagus, right? And then there will be crop and gizzard. So then crop and then gizzard is proventriculus. So we will start with pharynx, B, then after that E, right? Then after that C, B, E, C, right? We have few options here. And then there is proventriculus A, and after that will be mesenteron, F, and then ultimately the hindgut. That means we got our answer, it should be 3, right? So the only catch here is you should understand that proventriculus is nothing but the gizzard. Okay, so first there is crop and then there is gizzard in a cockroach. So answer here should be 3. Okay, so with this we have completed the questions of zoology. Stay tuned for the next GT discussion, that is GT 8.